start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates were bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940 or online, lundmortgage.com.
Christmas in July is back at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale. For this month only, get a $20 bonus card for every $100 gift card you purchase. When it comes to Asian cuisine, no one does it better and more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create food, fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. It's not just dinner, it's dinnertainment. Enjoy a memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on teppanyaki, sushi, and signature cocktails. Now through July, get your $100 gift card and $20 bonus card. Visit KasaiScottsdale.com. That's KASAI Scottsdale.com or call 480-607-1114. Christmas in July is back at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
And welcome, everybody, to a Friday edition of the Daily Blender on July 22nd, 2022, as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful mid-uptown, somewhere near the middle but up northern part of Scottsdale. My name is Randy White. Over there, the sexiest man in sports talk radio, Keon Rose. On the tables of steel, behind the glass, making all the magic happen, Jeffrey O'Brien. He's on a vacation, and he's headed to Nunyon. You are texting in the fourth dimension on the text line, 888-368-1580, as we get started on this Friday. Lots going on today, Keon. First of all, how was your evening last night? We had a lot of reading last night.
Yeah, had a lot of reading to do. I didn't mind it, actually. I thought I was gonna be, annoyed essentially having to do homework, but no, I enjoyed reading the entries that we had.
We will be announcing the winner of the Kasai Steakhouse $100 Japanese Steakhouse $100 gift card coming up here in just a bit on the Daily Blender. We have chosen a winner by a democratic process, and it's not rigged. But we will talk about that in just a bit. Just want to kind of get the show going. Lots to talk about today. Kyler Murray, reaction about his contract still seems to be one of the hottest items on the news cycle right now. Also, what does the second half look like for the Diamondbacks? We'll maybe dive into that for a little bit. I hate to tell you this, Keon, but Tennessee football is in trouble. No less than 18 NCAA violations have been filed against your volunteer football team.
I mean, I used to cover them. I wouldn't say that they're my volunteers, but I do have a soft spot for Tennessee and Tennessee football.
Well, you and Peyton Manning, the big orange tee is in trouble by the NCAA. Also, Mike Leach this hour, believe it or not. You remember Mike Leach, the Pirate from Washington State? He's gone on to bigger and better things, Mississippi State. He says that he believes the SEC should leave the realignment of college football in his hands. He has it perfectly mapped out, at least on the SEC side.
That sounds like Mike Leach. I mean, he's the know-it-all, right? He's the smartest guy in every room he walks into.
He's the Pirate.
If you ask him. He is a Pirate. And he's also, I don't know how serious he is. I can never really tell. You know, I when Mike Leach first got to the SEC, that was the one and only time I ever got to go to SEC Media Days.
Yeah.
I did not meet him, but I saw him up at the podium answering questions from reporters. He's so sarcastic. Sometimes you can't tell when he's being serious.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know, because he might be dead serious. Because sometimes you assume he's being sarcastic and then he's not joking. And then sometimes you assume he's joking. No, I can't tell with him. I can't tell.
The big news right now coming out, the Cardinals have made another move. They have signed up a new player. The Cards just recently, it was breaking news just a short time ago. The Cards have signed a new player, another target for Kyler Murray and his $253 million. They signed former USFL standout and championship MVP Victor Bolden Jr. to a deal.
Oh, boy.
I know, Cardinal fans, everybody just hold on to everything, because everybody started vibrating when when I just announced that. They have signed the Birmingham Stallions wideout Victor Bolden Jr. to a 1-year contract. And this is not his first stop. This foray into Arizona Cardinal land, not his first stop for the 27-year-old. He has been on the 49ers. He's been on the Buffalo Bills. He has been on the Detroit Lions. He's a graduate of Oregon State. But each one of those teams that I mentioned before, he was released from. But he did play in the USFL for the Birmingham Stallions. So much so that he was awarded the championship game MVP.
I mean, you have to think that some of these guys actually are pretty decent. Obviously, if they were great players, they'd be in the NFL already. But there are guys that get overlooked a lot, and maybe he's one of them. I don't think that he's going to be a game changer, but I like the
he's going to be a runner. He's going to be special teams, isn't he? Like a punt returner.
I mean, even that's
kickoff returner.
Yeah,
well, I know it's valuable, but I'm just saying they didn't bring him in as a primary target for Kyler Murray.
No, of course not.
They brought him in specifically to be, in the depth chart of wide receivers, but also he's going to be the guy that's going to be running punts back and kickoffs back, and that's going to free up, I think, some of Cliff Kingsbury's options. Like they're not going to use that kid from last year. What did I forget his name so much? I really like him.
Oh, Rondell Moore.
Rondell Moore. They're going to free Rondell Moore up. Instead of running punts and kicks back, he's more a valuable piece of the Cardinals offense, especially in light of the fact that D-Hop is going to be on vacation the first 6 weeks of the damn season.
Yeah, you need Rondell Moore, I think, now more than ever. And I thought he got better as the year went on. They kind of used him in spots, but the more the season went on, and you didn't have D-Hop at the end of last season. I thought Rondell made some really, really good plays.
Yeah, and the addition of Hollywood Brown, you've got Zach Ertz an entire season now. Listen, I know that D-Hop is a integral part of the Cardinal offense, but let's not get too crazy here. We have a team right now, in spite of what just happened yesterday by Kyler Murray getting a whopping contract by this team. And in spite of the fact that Jeffrey and I and Keon all believe that this is the death knell for the rest of the Cardinals team, when you have an owner that sits across from you at the bargaining table and says, look, $160 million guaranteed is all I have. I can't spare another dime. That's all I've got. It's got to tell you that, to me, at least, it's got to tell you that this is a Cardinals team and organization is going the way the Seahawks have. They spent all their money. They slid all the chips over to Danger Russ Wilson, and they let go of what really made the team great, that Legion of Boom defense. And, yeah, okay, our defense is not great, but look at the subtraction so far. Christian Kirk, gone. Okay, yeah, he wasn't a big part of the but he was big enough part of the offense.
That,
You know, he had
that
some
is why
key
he got
plays.
paid. You
Yeah.
know?
And Chandler Jones gone. You know, only one of the ultimate defensive edge rushers in the league. That's all. We just let him walk. Just let him walk. Just walk away. We don't want you here, Chandler Jones. We don't value you enough. We have a 5'8" quarterback we need to pay all the money to.
And you know, like I said yesterday, I wouldn't have a gigantic problem with it if I thought that they could draft replacements well.
Yeah,
because that's what the teams that paid their quarterbacks a bunch of money and have to live with that. You know, the Packers, how many contracts has Aaron Rodgers gotten? But they've managed to put some talent around him.
We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, though.
We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, and he is the kind of quarterback that elevates a team where even if you don't have the best talent, he can still make you a contender. I don't think Kyler Murray is that. That's one of my big problems.
Well, not yet, at least. He hasn't shown it yet.
He hasn't shown it yet. I don't think it's lack of capability. I haven't seen it, and I'm worried that I won't see it. And then B, I also just think that, you know, if you drafted well, it would happen. But I haven't seen Keim do that either.
Let's see if you agree with this, Keon, because I was looking at this today, and Cliff Kingsbury had to get out there and say a few things, you know, to prove that the organization was right in paying Kyler Murray. And by the way, how tall is Cliff Kingsbury? Is he 6 feet? Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury's got to be 6 feet, right? He's got to be a 6 foot tall guy. And he's kind of in a walk here in this picture. How big is he?
He's 6'3".
6'3". And he's in a walk here, and they're saying that Kyler's 5'10". In this picture. If he's 5'10", my name is Ella Fitzgerald.
Well, I guess you're not going to be crooning anytime soon. So
no. But Cliff feels like he was on the Dave Pasch podcast, which, by the way, Dave Pasch, one of my favorite human beings ever. I love that guy. Friday, earlier today, Cliff Kingsbury said on the Dave Pasch podcast that the Cardinals' number one draft pick is already on a fast track to being one of the game's top players. Quote, he's going to continue to get better. The contract deal I feel is really good about. We know he's our future here. And the talent, I've said since I got here, is generational with what he can do running, throwing the football. I knew when we drafted him that he had a chance to be one of the top guys in the league, and I think he's proven that. We know what he brings, and every Sunday we line up with him as quarterback. We have a real chance to win a game, end quote. You buying it?
Yeah, I'm buying that because I think a lot of those things about Kyler too. If we're just talking about the physical tools that he has, I mean, he's got an elite arm, he's got elite mobility.
Is his arm elite? Really?
It is. It is. I mean, I watched a guy last year in Taylor Heineke. That's a pop gun. Okay, I mean, Kyler can put it over the top of a defense.
Well, he has to throw it over the top of the defense because he can't see over the top of the offensive line.
I mean, fair enough, but the ball gets to exactly where it needs to be. I don't see when he throws the ball. I don't see the ball dying. I see him being able to drive the ball to the sidelines. You know, a lot of these difficult throws where the ball is on the far hash mark and he's got to throw to the sideline that's furthest from him. Only guys with elite arms are able to make those throws, and Kyler does make those throws. That's why I would say that about him. So I do believe that Cliff thinks that he's a generational talent. I think that he is. My problem with Kyler is never ability, never the skill set. It's always what's between the ears. That's the stuff that scares me about Kyler. That's what will continue to scare me about him until, you know, he figures it out.
Here's some more quotes from the Dave Pasch podcast from Coach Cliff Kingsbury. He said that he's not worried or concerned about the way the 2021 unfolded, with Arizona starting hot and slumping late, and Murray once again struggling to stay healthy or stay consistent down the stretch. The coach told Dave Pasch that the quarterback faced an uphill battle trying, quote, to get back up to speed in the thick of a playoff hunt, end quote, without his best receiver, then injured DeAndre Hopkins. More than that, Kingsbury believes Murray's talent remains unmatched by most other quarterbacks around the NFL. Unmatched, really?
I mean, I don't know about unmatched, but I will say that he's got mobility that is in the same ballpark as what Lamar gives you, and he's got arm talent in the same ballpark of I don't know, pick a guy. He's got a great arm. I wouldn't say he's quite there, but he's around there.
Russ Wilson.
I think they're similar.
Really?
I think that Russ is the better leader. I think he's the better, more composed guy. He figures out how to extend plays. Then the defense gets to him. He doesn't just fall over. There are things that Russell Wilson has that Kyler doesn't have that separates them beyond the physical tools.
Speaking of leadership, I'm glad you brought that up. Here's a quote from Coach Cliff again. Quote, "The kid shows up every day. He came to the worst team in football and the worst offense by far that had occurred for a long time in this league. And all he's done is improve. He's improved the organization. He's improved the team." End quote. So why is there so much stuff out there about his leadership ability if he's improved the entire team? Wouldn't the team be on the bus with him? Wouldn't the team be coming out and saying and thwarting some of this stuff that's out there about his leadership abilities? Wouldn't the team stand up for him if he's improved the organization?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I think that Kyler's a guy that people like. But there's a difference between a guy that people like and a guy that people will run through a brick wall for. I think people will run through a brick wall for Russell Wilson. I think they will run through a brick wall for Tom Brady. I don't think they're going to run through a brick wall for Kyler. I think they like him, and I think that does make an organization better. You got a quarterback who generally liked, plays well. I mean, the dude, what he does has made the team better. I can't say that the team is better without Kyler than they are with Kyler. But, the difference there is gut check time. Are these guys going to run through a wall for QB1? And I don't think that's the case.
So with this $230 million deal,
it's funny money. I mean, it's funny. I mean, like
from Yahoo Sports, this kills me because Kyler Murray was also drafted number 1 by the Oakland Athletics. So
I already see where you're going with this.
So the details came out about Kyler's pay. I can almost not do this with a straight face. The Cardinals quarterback, Kyler Murray, has a new $230 million deal, and his annual salary is almost as much as the entire Oakland Athletics 2022 payroll. Two things.
That's just the yearly money.
Yeah.
The Oakland A's right now, 48 mil. I'm rounding, but
yeah, two things. The Oakland Athletics are really, really cheap and poor. There was a deal. Their lone all-star had to hitch a ride with the Houston Astros private jet to go to the All-Star game because the Oakland Athletics were going to send him on a commercial flight.
I mean, so I know a lot of people have seen the movie Moneyball, but if you read the book, there's even more stories about how cheap that organization is. I mean, it's unreal. The things that they wouldn't give players, that they, the part of the story that does show up in the movie is that the vending machine's not free.
Oh yeah.
In the locker room.
Yeah. David Justice. I remember the movie because I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. And David Justice is like, what? I have to pay? 888-368-1580. Kyler had some, he had some comments because there was a presser today. Kyler had a what do you call that? A press conference today, and he had some things that he wanted to say about this contract. You have that clip there, Keon?
Yep.
Let's hear what Kyler Murray had to say about it.
I want to thank Michael. I want to thank Steve. 3 years ago, we were all in here. After getting drafted, it was one of the best days of my life. And today, 3 years from there, signing an extension. For me, man, it's a blessing. I'm so grateful and honored, for the confidence that they've shown in me. The faith that they've shown in me to take a 5'10" quarterback that's never been done before. And I understood, the heat that they would take, for doing that. But for me, man, it's like I said, I'm thankful. It's a blessing. For me, it's always been about fulfilling my promise, which is hopefully one day to bring a championship to this organization. And I'm a firm believer in bringing that here. And I know it's capable. I know we're capable. I know it'll be done. But that's I want to thank Michael, Steve, and Coach. I'd love to thank my parents, my family.
Yeah, parents, family, friends, co-workers. I'd like to thank the secretary who typed up the check.
That's the real MVP right there.
I'd like to thank Michael, aka Mr. Bidwell, for signing the check. I don't know. Listen, I don't want to beat up Kyler Murray. I just want to, dude, that is such a lack. Michael Bidwell owns the team. His family's owned the team, since way back, and he's on a first name basis with him. Come on, man. It's Mr. Bidwell to you, Jack.
I mean, I don't know what Michael Bidwell said he could or couldn't call him, Whereas the owner of my team, the Washington Commandos, Dan Snyder, insists that literally everyone call him Mr. Snyder. That includes reporters. It's one thing if you're employees, but it's the other thing if it's just like people not even in the organization still have to call you that. That's an issue to me.
Yeah,
but
anyway, Kyler Murray. You think it's genuine? I know we're late for a break. It's the first one of the day, so this you know what the Friday show is going to be like already. We're late for a break. Well, you think he's genuine about everything he's saying, wanting to bring a championship here, thankful that they showed trust and confidence in a 5'10" quarterback. By the way, 5'10", please give me a break.
I think he does mean it. He seems like a guy that really wants to be in Arizona, really wants to be a Cardinal. All of the maneuvering and the posturing and the social media stuff, I really think that's the agent's idea. That's Burkhardt's idea. Because Kyler's been saying, quite frankly, the opposite of everything his agent's been saying this entire time. He wants to be there. He wants to be a Cardinal. I think he likes it here. The fans, for the most part, love him. So I hope that everything can come together, that he does, start to mature a little bit and gain that leadership quality that he didn't have last year. I don't think that everything is impossible. I don't think that people can't grow, but that's the part that has to be added for him to become that next level player.
Yeah.
Because I do think he wants to be here. Yeah.
All right. Well, there it is. That's everything we have right now on the Kyler Murray saga as it unfolds here in Phoenix, Arizona. Kyler Murray making almost as much as the entire payroll of the 2022 Oakland Athletics, and just happy to be here and have confidence in a 5'10" quarterback. Wink, wink, giggle, giggle. When we come back, what's the second half outlook for the Diamondbacks? And let's get to the text line, 888-368-1580. That's around the corner next on the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
NFL training camps are getting underway this week. Buffalo is the favorite to win Super Bowl 57 at plus 650. Tampa Bay plus 750. The Chiefs plus 1,000. The defending champion Rams plus 1,100. Josh Allen is a plus $700 bet to win next season's MVP award. Patrick Mahomes plus 800. NBA free agency is open. Kevin Durant still waiting for a potential trade from the Brooklyn Nets to, well, whoever's willing to step up and pay the price. Although the Nets have reportedly not been aggressive in seeking trades. Looking at NBA championship futures for 2023, the Celtics the favorite to win the title at 575, Golden State plus 650, Milwaukee plus 700, the Clippers plus 750. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwiners.com. I'm Chuck Sanders on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Traffic.
Right.
This wagon commute is killing me. You mind if I turn on your old radio?
Oh, this song again. I swear they play the same 3 chants on every station.
At this rate, it's going to take a fortnight to get to work.
Well, just be glad you don't need to fill up. I mean, have you seen the price of hay?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout history, people have always hated to commute. That's why Monster lets you search work from home jobs. Find your job at monster.com or download the app.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
NASCAR Championship weekend is back at Phoenix Raceway. Drivers will pull it all on the line to claim NASCAR greatness. The Truck Series Championship kicked things off Friday night under the lights.
We're going to tear it up tonight.
Followed by an action-packed Saturday, where fans will witness an ARCA and Xfinity Series Championship doubleheader.
Yes, yes, yes.
Don't miss out on the action November 4th and 5th. Get your tickets now for NASCAR Championship weekend at PhoenixRaceway.com or call 866-408-RACE.
Baseball, basketball, soccer, tennis. No matter what your game is, defense matters. Same thing goes for COVID-19. Help protect yourself with a booster shot. Now recommended for people 5 years and older. Schedule an appointment as soon as you are eligible following completion of your primary series. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
NASCAR Championship weekend is back at Phoenix Raceway. Drivers will pull it all on the line to claim NASCAR greatness. The Truck Series Championship kicked things off Friday night under the lights.
We're going to tear it up tonight.
Followed by an action-packed Saturday, where fans will witness an ARCA and Xfinity Series Championship doubleheader.
Yes, yes, yes.
Don't miss out on the action November 4th and 5th. Get your tickets now for NASCAR Championship weekend at PhoenixRaceway.com or call 866-408-RACE.
The Rams were built to win the Super Bowl. The Los Angeles Rams have won Super Bowl 56. But if you think that brought the end of the NFL season,
You'd better think again.
the NFL is a year-round beast, and we keep you in the know. Free agency, trades, retirements, hirings, firings, holdouts, injuries, training camps, and a whole lot more.
Football is always in season here.
We are 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Your home for football.
Segment 1 of the Friday edition of the Daily Blender in the books, talking about Kyler Murray and his enormous contract. It's about the only thing big. I guess maybe his hands have to be pretty big because he is a pretty accurate thrower, right?
Yeah.
So his contract is not the only thing that's huge, but his hands have probably got pretty good size to him.
Yeah, that was one of the things that people were worried about at the combine. Like, okay, he's shorter quarterback, so he's going to have tiny hands. That was not the case.
He's got like 10-inch. Is it like a 10-inch finger thing or whatever? Finger spread or whatever they call it?
I don't remember exactly off the top of my head.
888-368-1580, the text line to get you the fourth dimension, who is as much of the show as myself, Jeffrey O'Brien, who's on vacation this week, or the sexiest man in radio, Keon Rose. Now let's go to that text line now to get your thoughts as we are in the first hour of today's Daily Blender. Big George. Hello, gentlemen. Happy Friday. Well, our great national nightmare is over. Vince McMahon has resigned as the CEO of WWE, WWF, and any other acronym you can think of. Was it a nightmare? I mean, Vince McMahon built this thing from nothing. He's the guy that took an unorganized, unruly bunch of wrestlers, organized them into a cohesive group, and marketed them, and has made them one of the biggest corporations in the country.
Yeah, but he's also been up to some pretty scummy stuff. So,
well,
if you're a wrestling fan, I suppose that part of the national nightmare is over.
I guess.
You know, I think
I'm
also,
not a wrestling fan.
Some of the wrestlers got taken advantage of and didn't get health care and all that other stuff. But
yeah, listen, I know that.
But
I know that.
For the most part, national nightmare. I don't know about that.
Thunder Snow wants to know if I said Jeffrey was headed to Narnia. No, Nunya. Blissful Hayes says, "Happy Friday, Randy and Keon. Thank you for showing up for work. I appreciate it. Let's go Rattlers." Yeah, they're in action. I was reading about. I had a press release. They're at Duke City, right? This weekend.
I
Duke
believe
City.
so. Let me go ahead and pull this back up here. I just
the Rattlers take on. Is this a playoff game coming up?
It is a playoff game. The playoffs actually started last week.
No kidding.
But the Rattlers had a first round bye, so they didn't.
Well,
play.
Of course they did because they're the Rattlers.
Of course, but actually because they had some injuries in the middle of the season, kind of stumbled a little bit. So they actually needed about every game of the season to end up with the number 1 seed, but they're the Rattlers, so they got it done. And so they're going to be playing this weekend. I'm going to have to.
Duke City.
It is Duke City.
That's Albuquerque, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, maybe we'll find out some more information. And number 1 Rattler fan, your dreams have come true. Maybe we'll talk a little about the playoffs for the Rattlers. Of course, 1580 The Fanatic, your home for Rattler football. And I believe we'll be airing the game this weekend. Will we not? Is that not true?
It is on Sunday.
Sunday
at 5.
Sunday at 5 on your home for Rattler football, 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Let's see here. Chiefs Goal says the Cardinals have a mediocre defense, slightly better wide receiver core, slightly good running back group, mediocre offensive line. They put too much money in one position.
But that's and I get what you're saying there, but this is the problem that a lot of NFL teams come across. You get a rookie quarterback, and the rookie quarterback is a competent quarterback. He can run the offense. In Kyler's case, Kyler can do some things that a lot of quarterbacks can't do with the mobility as well. So then how much money do you put into that position? Because, on one hand, you think, okay, this is a ton of money. On the other hand, starting over might be worse. You can't just plug any quarterback. If you yourself admit that the defense is okay, the wide receivers are all right, the running game is decent, then you can't just plug any quarterback in there and have success. So you kind of end up in that situation that every NFL team is going to come across this, where unless your guy is Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, a no-brainer, you almost feel like you're overpaying.
I feel like we as Cardinal fans, and I can say we because I am a Cardinal fan, have been since they moved here. We forget how the Cardinals started last year. Was it not 11-0 last year? And nobody expected them to go that way. Yeah, they fell apart in the last half. Some of the James Conner got hurt, DeAndre got hurt, Kyler Murray got hurt. There were some key injuries to this team. The offensive line was playing musical chairs where they had to keep swapping positions. Rodney Hudson went down early with an injury, and yet they were 11-0. So I don't think this team is mediocre. I think this team has a window of opportunity, and let's hope that it's right now. But this whole contract thing has got me perplexed. I agree with Fed Fan. She's been on the text line here. And she says, I guess I'm in the minority, but I'd rather be 5-12 with a quarterback that didn't break the bank of a team than a player that takes up most of the salary cap.
But then what's the point? Like, if you're going to be 5-12, and okay, so now you've got your money, but you stink. Like, the whole point is to not stink. So I would rather pay the guy and have a chance. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I've watched a lot of losing football myself, where my team never had a quarterback. We never had the chance to overpay a guy. So maybe I'm seeing it from a different way. But if I overpay and maybe my ceiling is capped on how great I can be, but my quarterback can take me to the playoffs, I'd rather do that and have a chance. Because once you get into the playoffs, you've got a shot. Maybe you get the right matchups and you go on a run. But if you're 5-12, you don't have a chance.
Yeah, I think sometimes we get ahead of ourselves as Cardinal fans. We complain whether they win and one guy takes up a bunch of money, or they lose and they're 5-12. I mean, if they were 5-12, Fed fan, I respect exactly what you're saying, and I get exactly what you're saying. But if they were 5-12, guess what we would be saying right now? Geez, when are they going to do something like get a new quarterback in here that's a generational quarterback that can actually move the football down the field? So I get what you're saying.
Like, it is a problem. Like, I'm not saying that what FedFan is saying is ridiculous. In fact, the opposite. It is a problem, but it is a good problem to have that your quarterback is good enough that you're like, I don't know. Most teams don't have that. I'm just telling you like it is. If I'm looking at my team, I'm looking at a bunch of teams in other divisions.
Carson Wentz.
Does anything else need to be said?
Boomer Sooner says, are we going to find out who won the Kasai Ticks? Hold your water, Boomer Sooner. Where's Jeffrey? None yet. Mr. Wilbur says, 7 years ago, I thought I would send you guys a refresher of what you read from Mr. Wilbur last night. Should I just accept the steakhouse gift card right now? And do we get rid of all the anxiety of everybody else thinking that they won? Breaking news, Vince McMahon of the WWE is stepping down as president. Thank you, Mr. Wilbur. 1st and 15, his head's plenty big. Ooh. So's his pocket or his wallet. Fish Tank says, question 1, who's the worst team in arena football? Question 2, how in the world do they stay in business?
Arena football?
Yeah, who's the worst team in arena football and how do they stay in business?
Well, you got, it's the indoor football league. First of all, I got to say that because once I said arena football and number one Rattlers fan and others got very mad at me about that. Indoor football. And I don't know who the worst team is actually. I pretty much just watched the Rattlers. I don't know who the worst team is.
Jagdog wants to remind you, Keon, that Rattlers game this Sunday is at 3 p.m., not 5.
Am I looking at the local time? I might be looking at the local time of the start then. I don't know. It says 5 on the IFL website, man. I don't know.
Santa's number one helper says he's too immature, and playoffs he stunk and cried like a baby instead of rallying the troops.
Those are red flags. Yeah.
11-0. I choose to look at the positives. And I know I've been guilty of convicting these guys of folding like a cheap suit down the stretch last year and not playing good football. But as I think about it, had a lot of injuries, man. This year it's going to be kind of inverted. We're going to have D-Hop is going to be out the first 6 games. But we've made some changes to the roster. And now if you make Kyler Murray happy and he doesn't feel like he's not going to be paid like a top quality quarterback, and this organization is actually paying him like a top quality quarterback. And that's something I can say for sure. This organization has frittered and farted away more money than they know what to do with on backup quarterbacks. And Sam Bradford on a bad knee, giving him $20 million guaranteed money. And it was absolutely nothing. And what was his name? Cobb, who came over from Philadelphia.
Yeah,
and he was
Kevin Cobb.
Kevin Cobb, and he was an absolute bust. We've had one shot at it before, and that was Jake the Snake, who's now running a hemp farm somewhere in Wyoming, I think, barefoot with long hair. We've had the McCowns in here. Good God. For once, we have a Class A quarterback. We paid what the league pays. That's what teams are paying quarterbacks. Let's see what happens. I have suddenly become the voice of reason.
Which is, one way to have the script flipped entirely.
Blissful Hayes says, Kyler's so accurate, he set an NFL record for throwing the shortest pick six in postseason history.
That was a disaster.
I mean, nothing was going right down the stretch.
I mean, I know that you're gonna, and rightfully so, pin a lot of that on Kyler.
And you should.
He's the quarterback, that he's the guy with the ball in his hands. He's got to be the one to make the plays. But nobody played well in that game. Cliff didn't coach well. Not even close. So there was a lot of stuff going on in that game.
The Last Optimist says at 888-368-1580, I almost want an NBA style rule where the most a team can pay a player is 15% of the salary cap, but the home team can pay 17%. I don't understand, but okay.
Because that's how the NBA max contracts work. It's a percentage of the cap. So instead of having the Patrick Mahomes making $500 million and teams are worrying about, well, am I going to have to pay my quarterback $300 million? It would be a percentage of the cap. So, as much as Devin Booker was able to make, it's 17% of what the Suns cap is, as opposed to just whatever Devin Booker's agent said.
Fed fan says, I'm not a fan of Murray. I think it was a mistake to give that much money to a 5'8" quarterback. Plus, I'm an all Arizona teams fan, so I'm used to losing. I get you, Fed fan. I get you. I understand. Of course, we would have to be the team with a 5'8" quarterback. We couldn't have a Lamar Jackson. We couldn't have, a Dak Prescott. We couldn't have, one of these elegant quarterbacks that are out there that looks sexy and have got the right size and, hit all their marks and are accurate. All these guys that are vying for a, top line quarterback. Of course, we had to have, a 5'8" quarterback who's now got a trust issue from the fan base for being a poor leader and a crybaby. I get it. And that's the Arizona fan hook right there. I got more text on the text line at 888-368-1580. We'll come back and get to those and also take a look at the second half. I want to get Keon's take on what the Diamondbacks look like the second half, what we can look for at the trade deadline, things like that. It's Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Research shows listeners don't like it when ads interrupt their music. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, we made this ad optional. If you want to skip this ad, remove your left earphone. Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
If you're missing this informative ad, you must love wasting your cash.
It's the easy and smart way to save.
Now it's all that said, so if that your phone was out, put it back in your head.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Look, it's Heartburn. How did he know we were at the beach?
No clue, but he's not ruining our vacation. I packed Prilosec OTC. With just one pill in the morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production that can cause frequent heartburn, so we can enjoy ourselves.
Speaking of, time for our luau.
Aloha heartburn.
One pill, 24 hours, zero heartburn with Prilosec OTC. If possible, while taking Prilosec OTC, use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Arizona Army National Guard, aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Did you know that Constructors Bonding has been Arizona's leader in surety management for over 40 years? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than anyone, anywhere. Contractors, developers, attorneys, car dealers, and hundreds of other industries turn to Constructors Bonding for their bond solutions. Call me personally at 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution for better bonding.
Don't just do it every day,
Do it several times a day.
because it feels that good.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Get the latest sports headlines.
The buzz around the league. Listen to podcasts.
Stay up with social media
Just log on to our website.
at 1580thefanatic.com.
Friday edition of the Daily Blender as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. Randy White, Keon Rose. We are in for the vacationing. Jeffrey O'Brien taking some time off. He'll be back next week. We're currently having a great discussion with the Fourth Dimension on the text line at 888-368-1580. Feel free to join in. Santa's helper is on there. Randy, injuries and being a leader is different. Okay, so Santa's number one helper, if you're just tuning in, is catching up. There's been a discussion about Kyler Murray getting $200 million, top level quarterback pay, and not being a leader, and all the drama that's poured out here in Arizona over the offseason after a tremendous meltdown the second half of last season, one that I was disappointed in as a Cardinal fan. Many of my comrades out there in Cardinal land, the big red sea out there, have also, exhibited much disappointment in how the season ended last year. Yes, it was a very promising season. Yes, there's been a lot in the press about Kyler's, shall we say, immaturity, and probably some of it is true. Probably some of it is not true. I can't believe everything that someone puts on, when they put pen to paper and write about. That's their take on what's being said. You see what I'm saying? Until I get a one-on-one interview with Kyler Murray and ask him questions myself, I'm not going to know the whole truth. I'm only going to know part of it. And at some point, Kyler Murray was in command of this team. And at some point, there were some injuries that were devastating to this team down the stretch. I get it. I'm disappointed. But we sit here in Arizona, we talk about teams that have championship, bloodlines. We're talking about teams like, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, Los Angeles Dodgers, how they buy everything and how much money they spend on a championship team. And then as soon as our quote unquote number one quarterback gets paid a top line quarterback contract, then we're all barking about it. I don't know. I don't know that that's the right thing to do. Am I disappointed Chandler Jones walked out of this organization on a defense that could have desperately used him? Yes, I am very disappointed about that.
And I don't necessarily even blame that on the Kyler contract, because they had issues with Chandler before. Chandler was not happy with the organization last season, if you remember, and he asked to be traded. And I think one of the smartest things that Keim did was not trade him. Give yourself a chance to play and win. Now, do you lose him for nothing in free agency? Yeah. But you kept him in the building and convinced him to show up and play. But yeah, it hurts to have a guy like that leave. It does.
888-368-1580. Santa's number one helper goes on and says, I get very upset because of the amount of money my dummy self has spent on them. And the way they act like my 6-year-old, it's upsetting. I got floor tickets to the playoffs games. I'm assuming he's talking about the Suns. And we got smacked. Smacked! Yeah, we did. We got outplayed. And we got served our ass hot on a plate as they excused us from the dining room. Yeah, you're right. So does that mean we give up or complain or do we try to get better? And apparently, the people that are supposed to know football, Michael Bidwell at the helm of this ship that's supposed to know football, he has people around him, feel like the only way for the Cardinals to get better is to secure Kyler Murray long term, to keep him in this organization, to show confidence in him, and to move along.
because you got to have a quarterback to win, or to at least give yourself the best chance to win. Can you win without one? Yeah. But the teams that have no quarterback and win are the teams sporting elite defenses, like greatest of all time kind of defenses, like the 2000 Ravens. People like to throw Trent Dilfer out there. The 2000 Ravens are one of the 5 best defenses to ever step on a football field. Do we have that here? Because if we don't have that here, you got to pay your quarterback.
Big George, so Randy and Keon, does the Diamondbacks miracle second half comeback start tonight against Keon's Washington Nationals?
I mean, I don't know.
Big George, I can't even read the rest of this.
There's more?
Yeah, he said the Diamondbacks are only 9 games out of the final wild card spot.
The first part
Big
was
George.
hurtful enough. It's not going to be a second half bounce back, but yeah, they're going to beat the Nationals. The Nationals are bad.
Yeah, anybody can just look up the schedule for the Diamondbacks in the second half. They play the Padres,
multiple times. They play the Dodgers multiple times.
Yeah, they play the Braves. They play the Mets. Oh, dear God.
Don't they play the Giants multiple times?
Yeah, it's going to be a massacre in the second half. Blissful Hayes says, hey, Randy, Jake is a mushroom farmer now. By the way, is it true Kyler Murray developed PTSD from all the bad losses in the Rams the last 3 years? Tiger Paws, Kurt Warner likes Kyler and says that he likes the spotlight. And if the increased contract puts more pressure on them, that will be even better. Okay.
I think that because I watch Kurt Warner's got a really cool YouTube channel. It's called QB Confidential. And basically he just breaks down film, basically what players do well, what players can't do well. And he is very high on Kyler. He likes him a lot. And I think that this coaching staff, now that you've paid him the money, that's your guy. Figure out ways to do the things that Kyler is really good at. Okay. Struggles to see over the offensive line. Get him out in space.
Well, they move him
pocket.
around.
They move him around. They do, but I think they got to do it a lot more. Especially on those quick throws. Find a way to get him there because some of those quick throws he misses because he can't see.
Well, one of the things they also have to work on is blocking up the middle. I mean, how many times did we see a guy coming loose up the middle?
Too many times.
And Kyler's on the run. He can't even set. I mean, it's like bang, bang, bong, and there it is. And now Kyler's running for his life. FedFan just does not like the Kyler move. I'm just going to tell you right now. FedFan is not a Kyler fan. Since Kyler is making all the money, I'm going to blame him for every mistake the Cards do. The defense screws up, it's on Kyler. Coach calls bad play, I'm blaming Kyler, and so on. Wow.
Okay. Look,
FedFan, I want you to turn on some old Federer tennis games. Open up one of those tabs, you know what I mean? That soft drink, put a little umbrella in it. Get in your favorite chair or yoga position, whatever, and just go, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
I just hope that you are equally as happy as you are mad if Kyler does work out. That's all.
Fish Tank wants us to give a shout out to his brother's band, Prince Mirth. What? Prince Mirth?
What kind of music do they play, Fish Tank?
They just released their first full-length album today, and you can stream it everywhere. And they're playing an album release show tonight at the Rebel Lounge, formerly known as the Mason Jar. That's in your neck of the woods, I think.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I don't know.
Swing by and see Prince Mirth.
Prince Mirth. I don't know. That sounds like a cool thing, and I love music, so I'll
I wonder if this is the way they sound. I wonder if that's Prince Mirth right there.
God, I
could hear that again. I could listen. I could listen to that all day.
They could play that for every song.
Man, if they just get up and do that, I'm right up front with my Bic lighter. It's on fire. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Prince Mirth in concert. Love it.
Beautiful.
Damn. Against the spread, Arizona could be in real trouble without Hopkins. With D-Hop on the field, the Cardinals are a different beast. Check out the numbers. Cardinals lost 2 games last year when he played an average of almost 10 more points a game with him. Yeah, 100% right against the spread. You're 100% right. With D-Hop on the field, that Cardinal offense takes on a whole new look, doesn't it? And there's not a whole lot anybody can do to stop it. When you have, in my opinion, arguably the best wide receiver in football who can go up and get it. He's a big dude and he can run routes great. And he's just got reliable hands. Hell yeah. That's why I'm saying right now could be the time for the Cardinals to strike. This team's not going to look like this in 5 years. In 3 years, it's not going to look like this. Now's the time to strike. Kyle G, between Ayton and Murray, I think Phoenix fans have shown how traumatized they are. You're so used to your organizations ruining anything good that you're now attacking some of the best athletes you've ever had. It's misplaced anger instead of waiting for it all to fall apart. Try to enjoy the ride with these guys. Wow. Kyle G, that is why you're a Hall of Fame texter.
Just a little voice of reason. We all need it from time to time. You know, sometimes it feels like the sky's falling, but in this case, you drafted a quarterback number 1 overall, and it worked. I mean, we are literally laughing at Baker Mayfield every day. That's the number 1 guy.
That's a great question right there. We had 2 number 1 picks. Okay, you had Kyler Murray, you pick him number 1. You had DeAndre Ayton, you pick him number 1. Now, you could have gone a bunch of different ways here, but between the 2 of them, who would you rather have? DeAndre Ayton or Kyler Murray? You could only have one. Which number one would you want? I would challenge the fourth dimension to answer that question. Twitty, it says, is it possible that Kyler's rap for not being a leader on the field is due to the fact that he played baseball? What does that have to do with anything?
Do baseball locker rooms not have leaders?
I mean, I played baseball. I'd like to think that, I could talk from experience, and I had a lot of guys around me in baseball that were great leaders.
Isn't there like a 6 or 7 part documentary on the captain? What?
I can't think of a better leader in baseball than Derek Jeter. Yeah, he was on the hated Yankees, but hey, respect. Random texter says, do you think that Kyler's immaturity could have had any effect on Larry's return? No, I think Larry was done. And I will maintain that. I don't think it had to do anything with Kyler Murray. I don't think he was responsible for Larry leaving the game at all. I think Larry for the last couple of years has been struggling on whether to continue to play or not. Larry had a great career. He's not ashamed of anything. As a matter of fact, just the other day on his Twitter feed, he's a Cardinal for life. Squelching any rumors out there that he might be going to a team this season to play football, have one more run. There's no way. No, I don't think Kyler's immaturity could have had any effect at all on whether Larry returned to football or not. Watermelon says, Randy, I don't think it's the money that was spent. I think it was who it was spent on. We can all feel it in our bones and our hearts. Kyler is not that guy. Kyler is not that. Okay, so the question on the table, fourth dimension, would you rather had DeAndre Ayton or Kyler Murray? You can only have one. You can't have both. Who would you have rather had and had to pay the money to? Kyler Murray or DeAndre Ayton? 888-368-1580. Wow, we still got texts coming in. The fourth dimension wants to talk about this Kyler Murray thing. This has got the Hornets' nest all abuzz. And when we come back, we will continue to talk about it and anything else the fourth dimension wants to talk about as we continue on this Friday edition of the Daily Blender. My name is Randy White. That's Keon Rose, Jeffrey O'Brien on vacation. We'll be back in just a short break with more of the Daily Blender over most of these same radio stations here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, y'all, this is your girl, Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
What do a 450-year-old author and a bottle of 4 times distilled vodka have in common? Let's compare Shakespeare, shall we? Shakespeare, the man, the epitome of playwriting, the OG of live theater, the standard by which all others are compared. Shakespeare, the vodka, an original Polish spirit crafted from a recipe 12 centuries old with an unwavering attention to smoothness and purity, the standard by which all others should be compared. Maybe they're not so different after all. Shakespeare Vodka is the Shakespeare of vodkas.
Christmas in July is back at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale. For this month only, get a $20 bonus card for every $100 gift card you purchase. When it comes to Asian cuisine, no one does it better and more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create food, fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. It's not just dinner, it's dinnertainment. Enjoy a memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on teppanyaki, sushi, and signature cocktails. Now through July, get your $100 gift card and $20 bonus card. Visit KasaiScottsdale.com. That's KASAI Scottsdale.com or call 480-607-1114. Christmas in July is back at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
So a friend told me about Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and his exact words were, "It changed my life."
I used to spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to remove tomato sauce from inside our microwave and soap scum off the bathtub.
It's like seriously magic, and my secret weapon for cleaning the kitchen, bathroom, doors, and walls, and even keeping my sneakers clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Greatest invention ever.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, the unicorn of cleaning.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
People settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Friday edition of the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, as we broadcast live from the Harman Solar Studios in beautiful Scottsdale. My name is Randy White, right over there behind the glass, spinning the tables of steel. That's the sexiest man in sports talk radio, Keon Rose. We're covering for our partner, Jeffrey O'Brien, who's on vacation this week, be back next week. And currently you're on the text line at 888-368-1580. You are the fourth dimension, and you are what makes this bus go down the highway. We love interacting with you and having your text, so feel free to text in at 888-368-1580. We didn't get much done last hour, Keon. Didn't get much done at all. I mean, we talked about Kyler Murray's big new contract. A lot of people are voicing some concerns. Been a few positives, not very many. Most everybody, including FedFan. FedFan does not like Kyler Murray. I think if FedFan was in a room with Kyler Murray, there'd be some slapping going on. Slapping and yelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can understand that. And look,
most of the yelling from Kyler, because FedFan would flight kick his ass.
I have no doubt about it. I think with Kyler, he can be frustrating at times, and
at times,
and I think that, well, I mean, yeah, at times, but I do think last year with the start that they had and how good they were, you didn't get the frustrating Kyler for most of the season. And then obviously things started to fall apart at the end, and then there was finger pointing and pouting, and
that's always going to happen,
and all of that stuff. But I think what makes Kyler very frustrating is the talent is there. It's and that's what's frustrating about it. Because if it wasn't there, you know, if he just stank, I don't think that anybody would feel that strongly about him and about him getting paid. But because there are intangibles that just appear to be missing, you got a lot of questions. And so fans are, I think, rightfully concerned. Like, did we cripple our team to pay a guy who might never be a great leader?
We've got a new texter to the broadcast here, a new texter here at the Daily Blender. Wooz is the new texter, and Wooz says, hey guys, new texter here. Cardinals had no choice but to pay Kyler the money. They could have saved themselves tens of millions of dollars by signing him sooner. Tens of millions? There are no other. Oh, I'm sorry, Keon. There are no other quarterbacks that are better than Murray to trade. Well, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, who's out there really?
Nobody that anybody would actually move. That's the reason why quarterbacks tend to, in the NFL, not really get traded. Because if you have a guy that you like, you don't trade him.
Well, I mean, we could probably go for Baker Mayfield. Is he better than Kyler Murray?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Baker's better than Kyler, but I think he's a better leader. So again,
I agree with you. I'm not going to argue that point at all. But as far as talent goes, who are we going to bring in? Baker Mayfield? Jimmy Garoppolo? He was out most of the season last year with a toe injury.
And can't forget the entire season he missed, tearing his ACL on a run. He didn't get touched. You know, and I understand non-contact ACL tears happen, but guy tried to do too much, try to extend a play, and then ends up tearing his ACL, and nobody touched him.
Let's see here. Blissful Hayes just getting mean-spirited. With his new raise, Baby Yoda should hire Nike to make him a pair of cleats with an 8-inch lift like all the members of KISS wear. Height problem solved. You're welcome, Kyler. I don't think he was asking Blissful Hayes, but thank you. Taco Kenny says Kyler and the Cards going to be all right this year, but it's way easier to buy a championship, but sometimes it'll backfire on you. Go Dodgers, Raiders, Lakers. Really, Taco Kenny? You're going to do that to me? I mean, I love to say the Raiders. Let's see here. Big George says, Randy, can I get a huzzah for Kyler Murray's new contract extension? Thank you. Oh, you mean this?
Huzzah!
That one?
I am a fan
George.
of that one.
Let's see here. Boomer Sooner. DeAndre Murray. No. See, Boomer Sooner. I said either DeAndre Ayton or Kyler Murray. Randy, did you hear Barkley might be going to the Live Tour? 50 mil. Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a little while, Boomer Sooner, if we get to it. My question before the break was you only had one choice, DeAndre Ayton, because there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of negativity, a lot of don't pay this guy, he's not worth it. And the Suns end up paying him $133 million. And then there's been a lot of negativity after what's happened last season, even though the Cardinals in the last 3 seasons have progressed positively forward, including an 11-0 run last year that nobody thought could be happening. And now we paid Kyler Murray top dollar to be a NFL quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. And there's been a lot of negativity about it. So I gave the Fourth Dimension a little something to do. And that was text in at 888-368-1580. Let me know, who would you rather have? DeAndre or Kyler Murray? And so here we go. Boogie says DeAndre Ayton. All right. Cards Chappie says, I guess I'd have to pick Kyler over Ayton simply because there are more reasonable options for replacing Ayton than there are for Kyler. That's a good point, Cards Chappie. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, aloha. Random Texter says, well, Kyler is 5'8" or less, and DeAndre is 6'10" or better. So I think you get more for your money with DeAndre. Really? Random Texter, come on. You get more for your money with DeAndre because he's taller?
So then why not go find Taco Fall and pay him to be your center? Because he's even taller.
Flying Monkeys says there's nothing worse than your highest paid player standing on the sidelines pouting like a little girl. I'll take Ayton. Thank you, Flying Monkeys. Baker's Cocky Hens says Can we just let Kyler play for the Cards, D-backs, and Suns? Kyler's young and can still grow so much as a quarterback. Aiden lacks something you can learn. You can't learn. It's called desire.
Well, it's funny that you said that, because between the two of them, when they collapsed in the postseason, Kyler was the one that was pouting. And look, DeAndre Ayton got into it with Monty Williams, and that's not good. Don't get into it with your coach if you can help it. But he got benched because it seems like he wanted the ball more. Is that? I think that qualifies as desire. I can coach that. A guy that wants the ball more, but I don't want to give it to him. I can do something with that. I can't do something with the team is trying to embarrass me.
Kyle G says between Ayton and Murray, I think Phoenix fans have shown how traumatized they are. You're so used to your organizations ruining anything good that you're now attacking some of the best athletes you've ever had. It's misplaced anger, and instead of waiting to fall apart, try to enjoy the ride with these guys. These arguments that Murray is immature are silly. He's 22? Of course he's going to be immature and not the best leader. His maturity didn't lose the second half of the season. Bad coaching and poor play by the whole team did. Also, if leadership or maturity are the problem, why aren't we talking about J.J. Watt or DeAndre Hopkins? Why didn't their leadership win you games? Quit blaming everything on one kid. Kyle G, spitting truth like a bottle of Drano.
I mean, look, I appreciate that. And I'll try and address what you're saying right here with the leadership matters because that's your quarterback. That's the CEO of your team. When you draft a guy like that, the leadership does matter. When there's problems, when the chips are down, everybody looks to the guy with the ball in his hands, which is why even though DeAndre Hopkins was there and even though J.J. Watt was there, J.J. Watt can't fire up the offense. That's the quarterback's job. J.J. Watt can tell the defense, hey, guys, let's go. Let's get this thing started. He can't tell the offense that to that same degree, not the same way that Kyler can. And you look at all the other great quarterbacks that are out there. They might be weird. Aaron Rodgers is a damn hippie, but those guys follow him.
That's mushroom farmer to you.
Well, I stand corrected. But the leadership aspect of it does matter. And it's not just one or two voices on the team. Though Hopkins is a leader, J.J. Watt is a leader, but the quarterback position does matter a ton. And I'm not saying Kyler can't grow into that and can't mature into that, but there are plenty of players who are young and don't need 3, 4, 5 years to figure it out. Like Joe Burrow, that guy's a leader. He just is.
Yeah, he's got a cigar, some cool sunglasses, and a swagger. And for whatever reason, that charisma that's captured everybody in Cincinnati. He is the unquestioned leader of that team. And I will agree with you, Keon, but I will disagree on one point. J.J. Watt is an established leader in this league. Would you agree or disagree?
I would 100% agree.
So J.J. Watt can go over to the offense and can get them fired up.
He can, but it's not just
J.J.
about
Watt's. He's not on the field with them.
Yes, and it's not just about getting them fired up. It's about noticing things. You're noticing that okay, somebody's struggling to get open. What can I do as the quarterback to get you going? Can we get you quick pass to try and get you involved in this? Quarterbacks have to think about that stuff. I've watched how many things with Kurt Warner in it where Kurt tells you that. If you see a guy that's starting a little bit slow, get him some easy passes so that he sees the ball go in his hands and he picks up a couple of yards and now he thinks, all right.
Yeah, but yes, that's more experience than anything else.
That's true. But that's leadership. I mean, that you're seeing it.
Yeah, that's kind of like veteran stuff. That's what that is. That's a guy that's been around the league and he's learned and he's experienced. Kyler Murray's only been here 3 years. He's not. I don't think he's going to be. He's probably just now learning some of this stuff.
And maybe I'm just going by what I see. I watch all of the extra NFL film stuff with everybody else.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things is when they go out of the tunnel in Buffalo, the entire offense surrounds Josh Allen and he's quiet. No, he's not saying anything. And everybody's standing around going, hey, give us a word, 17. What do we got today, 17? And they're waiting for him to talk. And then he says like 6 words. We're going to kick some ass today. And they all run out there screaming. Like, that's the leader. What do you want me to say about that? This part of his success is that he has a strong arm. The part of his success is those guys would do anything for him. And I want to see that out of Kyler. And I hope I can. Because he is one of my favorite players to watch in the league.
Let's see. Last optimist, I vote keeping Kyler, but I'm a football fan. I don't watch basketball. Very well. Thank you for the truthfulness. Fed fan is back. Oh, dear God. It's going to be okay.
Zen. Fed fan.
Okay.
Zen.
Just breathe. Fed fan says, Kyler's only a few inches taller than me. There would definitely be a beatdown. I don't like spoiled brats, especially spoiled pro athletes. Between Kyler or Ayton, I'll take Ayton. I'm a chick. I refuse to use reason.
I'm pretty sure you've got a good reason, though. But
wow. Santa's number one helper says Rodney Hudson's decision to come back is huge. He studies teams. Hopefully, he runs off on Kyler.
Oh, you definitely need him back. there's
Hefty
no
lefty. Hey, you leave the weirdos of KISS out of this. They're old and frail now. That's true. New texter here on the Daily Blender. New texter. Boy, everybody's coming out of the woodwork here. Kyler Murray stole all the money that the Cardinals had for any other team members that could add something. I'd rather have the 2,000 Ravens than one overpriced player. Skull! At least Deion Ayton can see over the O-line, but can he throw? Skull!
Well, the problem with having the 2,000 Ravens is you might be able to pick up a lot of talented free agency, but you're going to have to draft the 2,000 Ravens if you want the 2,000 Ravens. Are we doing that? I would rather have the 2,000 Ravens too, because that defense is all-time defense.
7127. Who is this? What is your texter name? We need to know. Are you apparently you're a Minnesota fan? Apparently.
Oh,
yeah.
Another one.
Good. Skull! Wow. Blissful Hayes says, I'll take dominating over Little Rascal any day. I think Larry Fitzgerald should return to the Cardinals until DeAndre Hopkins then retire from suspension, kind of a temporary part-time gig.
So you're saying Larry Fitzgerald should fill in for D-Hop while he's suspended?
Yeah, Larry don't want to do that, man.
Has Larry been football working out?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, he's in great shape.
Yeah, but there's great shape and then there's football shape.
And he's still got his cool dreads, but I mean, at the same time, there's in shape, and then like Keon said, then there's football shape. I'm in shape. Round is a shape.
Round is a shape.
Big George says, great question, Randy. I think DeAndre Ayton was worth the money because he has actually proved himself in the postseason and almost won an NBA championship for the Suns last year. Kyler hasn't even won a playoff game yet, so I'd rather have DeAndre Ayton. Well, but DeAndre Ayton was with the Suns when they still were terrible. It wasn't until CP3 got here. 3 years in a row, Big George, I submit to you the evidence that Kyler Murray's done nothing but progress, not regress. Yeah, we haven't won a playoff game. You're right. We haven't. But we've gone from being the worst team in football, laughingstock, to being somewhat relevant, and our name is in the conversation. 11-0 last year. I'll keep throwing it out there. Heavy Metal Maniacs, good luck to all the people that entered the contest. I didn't enter, but that's okay. I love you guys the same. And I got mine from, I was saying I won one already today from Big Steve. Oh, well, Heavy Metal Maniacs, congratulations. Speaking of that, we had an essay competition, and in just a bit, we'll be revealing who the big winner is. We had a lot of reaction on that, but we will share some of them with you. And we will announce the winner of the Kasai Japanese Steakhouse $100 gift certificate giveaway sometime on the show. So be listening. Watermelon says, I think Keon just hit the nail on the head there. Kyler either hasn't developed as a leader yet, or he wasn't born with the ability to do so. Not sure that's something that can be taught. Yeah, but there's also, Watermelon, different types, different styles of leadership. Like he said, Alan, Josh Allen with Buffalo. He's a quiet guy. He leads by example. He goes to war with these dudes. He doesn't have to say a whole lot. Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, on the other hand, they're vocal leaders. They get fired up. They get in their offensive lineman's face. They say things to their team to get them to do the right thing. They lead verbose, where Josh Allen leads by action. Maybe Kyler Murray is one of those quieter dudes. Maybe, he's not going to be a very verbose type of guy. The problem is, and we both have agreed on this, Keon, his demeanor on the sidelines has got to change.
Yeah, I know it sounds crappy and corny to say that body language matters, but it does matter. It doesn't help that during the Manning cast of them falling apart in that playoff game, Russell Wilson is going, yeah, I would have been down there firing the guys up. It's you can find your own way to be a leader. And I think if you're a quiet person, it is harder for you to figure out your leadership style. I think Justin Herbert is a quiet guy. I think he's going to probably struggle with that a little bit too. But ultimately, you do have to figure it out. It is part of your job. I'm sorry. You have to figure it out. And I think Kyler can, but no one can teach him that. He's just got to be able to put that together.
Let's see. Jagdog says Kiss sucks. Horrible. Well, that's because they're old and decrepit now. Horgon says the spoiled brat and Kyler Murray, or a guy who wants more playing time in Ayton. DeAndre Ayton all the way. Okay, thank you. Baker's Cocky Hen says, who do these guys want to play Josh Rosen? Who do these guys want to pay? Josh Rosen?
Okay, I guess what he's saying is if you're going to be so mad about Kyler getting paid, who do you want to pay? Josh Rosen or? And I'm going to guess that's a no for everyone. Sure. Hope so.
Maybe there must more to this. Oh, wait, my screen just refreshed. Okay,
there it is.
I didn't realize Ayton was benched for wanting the ball. Changes everything. Kyler needs to be held accountable, but has a 22-year-old mega star in multiple sports. Has never happened with him. Who do these guys want to pay? Josh Rosen? Yeah, going to have to sharpen the pencil on that one. Do a little more work on it. I don't quite understand. Blissful Hayes says, I'm a Bears fan, but I also like watching the Cardinals. Kyler has major potential and is an exciting player. I hope he does well. Thank you. Last couple of texts, and then we'll get back on track here after we take a break. Wow. I need a nap.
You really kicked the hornet's nest with this one.
It wasn't me.
That's true. You just threw it out there, though, and here they all came.
That's my job. I set it on the tee, and you guys swing away. Hefty Lefty says, I keep hearing 11-0 related to the Cardinals, but joined in late today. What did that relate to? Well, a lot of people are very negative, Hefty Lefty, about the amount of money that Kyler has been paid. We did a story on it. We talked about his presser today about how he's blessed to be here and wanted to thank, Michael Bidwell and Steve Keim and coach and his family. And he wants to live up to the promise of bringing a championship to the city. And a lot of people are just like, this guy's terrible. He's immature. He's not a leader. He's a pouty, whiny baby. He's a little brat, blah, blah, blah. And I kept saying, but you just 3 years ago, this team was terrible. I think we had 3 wins under Josh Rosen. We had 3 wins.
Yeah.
And all that Kyler Murray has done since coming in here is progress forward. And I keep putting up on the board. Remember last year we had 11 in a row. We rattled off 11 straight. And everybody is just focusing on the negative end of the season. Yeah, it was a bad end of the season. But we had 11 in a row. The potential is there. That's what we're talking about, Hefty Lefty. Random Texter says, Kyler Murray's sideline demeanor reminds me of Kyle Orton. He needs to be more like Patrick Mahomes. I agree. One more. Santa's #1 helper. He wants to thank us for bringing the Brinks truck to his house. Well, we didn't. Yeah, no, it's not us. This may be a scam. You might want to lock all the doors. All right. When we come back, let's finally talk some Diamondback second half and get more of your texts on the text line at 888-368-1580. It's a Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Sire,
Mm-hmm.
I just graduated first in my class at stonemasonry school.
I know. That's why we hired you.
Yeah, cool. But I was wondering why all I've been doing is sweeping the floors and providing slop for the hogs.
Well, how else do you think you learned to stonemason?
By stonemasoning, maybe?
How does that make any sense?
Throughout history, people have always been undervalued at work. That's why Monster lets you search salary by major. Find your job at monster.com or download the app.
Hey, I got a question for you. You hate bending over to put on your shoes? Wish you should just put them on standing or sitting without ever having to touch them? If so, then I have the shoe for you. Introducing new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins. With new Skechers Slip-ins, you just step in and off you go. You don't even need to lace up. So how does Skechers Slip-ins work? Well, there's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide right into place. So just step in them and go. Find new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
Contractors, listen up. This is Bruce Jacobs. Are you missing out on jobs due to lack of bonding? When your current bonding holds you back, call Arizona's #1 bond managers at Constructors Bonding. They have the market relationships and expertise to take you where you want to go, serving all types of contractors of any size and license in all states. When you need better bonding, call Dave McKee at Constructors Bonding, 602-432-5929, or visit cbialliance.com.
Jim Rome lives here.
It's a lame take to say that this is the dead time of sports and that there's nothing to talk about. It's not 1965. There's lots to talk about. In fact, I think it's actually one of the funnier times of the year, because looking around and laughing at all the manufactured tripe that people are talking about, that's become a sport unto itself.
Jim Rome and the Jungle.
Weekday, mid-mornings on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
It's the Friday edition of the Daily Blender on 1580 99.3 The Fanatic. Junk Food Jake on the text line at 888-368-1580 saying, good call by Randy. Kyler is the key for this team to go all the way to the Super Bowl. Now that takes some stones right there. Junk Food Jake, to actually agree with me. I have a lot of people on this text line that might be, you might now be a target. Just saying. The Kasai Japanese Steakhouse giveaway. We have a $100 gift certificate we're going to be giving away here. I'm going to do it at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to make sure we're all gathered together here in the fourth dimension. And we're all kind of there. And even if you're not listening and you can't be there at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, we will notify you if you are the winner. But we got a pretty big response. I mean, listen, we're not the biggest station in town, but by golly, we try hard. So I was very impressed by you, the fourth dimension, with the submissions on the essay. Who wants to win this Kasai Japanese Steakhouse $100 gift certificate? Now, listen, $100 gift certificate, man, that's a lot of food. That's a lot of food, and you are going to be thrilled when you have the opportunity to go to Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. So be listening, and this is not the only one we have to give away. We have next week. We have another one to give away here on the Daily Blender, as well as the main event with Steve and Jacobs and Helly in the morning. They have another one to give away. I mean, hell, we're just giving away $100 gift certificates like they're going out of style. 888-368-1580. Let's move along, shall we? Talk some Diamondbacks here for a moment. I know it's not the most popular decision, but you may or may not know that I am a baseball fan, and I'm sure in the fourth dimension there are some that like the grand old game. And I'm interested in what the Diamondbacks are going to do in the second half. And this from AZ Central, is Torey Lovullo's job safe? Here's a few things to watch for the Diamondbacks as they open the second half. Nick Piecoro is the author. I have to keep taking my glasses off and putting it back on because my eyes are playing tricks on me. So at the deadline, which is coming up here, the trade deadline, right now the team is on a 70 win pace, which I think is funny. 70 wins.
I mean, good for them for being on the pace, to begin with, but road's about to get a whole lot rockier.
So Keon, let's play GM for a minute of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Let's take Mike Hazen's job for a second. Second half, what are you looking to do to make this team better? You've just drafted pretty well, by some accounts, a B+ draft for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Some of the guys I talked to, the Sarge, I was talking to him last night. He said the Diamondbacks farm system is in great shape. And maybe now is the time to start bringing up some of these guys because you've got sort of roadblocks here at the big league level. Christian Walker is in there. You've got roadblocks behind him. That kid we just drafted, the Golden Spikes winner, he's a first baseman. So maybe he goes to he goes to the instructional league first, and then he goes right up to AA ball and he starts crushing it. Well, you don't want him to just kind of, wilt away in the farm leagues. You want to get him up while he's ripe. You know what I mean? And really tie into that talent early. Yeah, Christian Walker, he can hit a long home run, but what else has he done for the team? I mean, I'm not a big fan of just getting up there and ripping the ball out of the ballpark. I'm sorry. I think you need to score more runs than you do hit home runs.
Look, if you've got a power hitting team, go for it. Crush the ball. But that's not what we got here.
This is not a power hitting team. And we should not be teaching that philosophy. But anyway, so what would you like to see in the second half the Diamondbacks do? We remember now, we just designated Dallas Keuchel for the second time this season. And boy, that's really got to ruin him, his psyche. But we just designated him for assignment. So we no longer have Dallas Keuchel on the team. That was, to me, that was sort of a pickup in, Dallas Keuchel, interesting. He was really good a few seasons ago. I wonder if we can catch lightning in a bottle.
Because isn't he 37?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're not going to catch lightning in a bottle when a guy's 37 years old. That's just not how the human body works.
So what do we do?
Look, I agree with you. I agree with the Sarge. I think you got to start looking at the farm system, and calling some people up. I hear a lot about Corbin Carroll, the outfielder that they have. I hear that he's been doing really well down there. He's hitting 276 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Call him up. I would, David Peralta, trade him. To trade some of these guys that are older. And if your farm system is your strength, build off of that. Corbin Carroll's a guy. Figure out what you're doing in the outfield, because from what I understand of the farm system, they've got a number of incredibly promising young outfielders. This team has a bad record of sending guys away who wind up being really great elsewhere. But you got to figure out which one of those guys you may have to move on from just because you've got a logjam at outfield. But you've got a number of talented players, go through the evaluation, see who can come in and help you, who is ready to play, who might get a boost from getting to see the game at a major league speed, and really try and focus on getting some of these young guys in here. Let's see. I know they had some pitchers that they're interested in looking at, the young pitching prospects. Dre Jameson's one of them. Had 100 miles an hour the other day that he threw. So I just think you're trying to find all of the young guys and get them as much experience as humanly possible, especially if you're not willing to pay people then as soon as these guys get experience, the sooner the better, so that they can at least contribute while they're cheap. Like if that's going to be your strategy, go for it, but do that then. Commit.
Yeah, if you're going to play economy ball, then take a page out of the Tampa Bay book. Draft really well, develop really well, and play the guys as youngsters, and try to keep some of them together as the years progress. And then it's wash, rinse, and repeat. Do the same thing year after year after year. Yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays right now are in the American League East, but listen, they still playing a good brand of ball. You don't just walk in there like you used to in Tampa Bay and just get an easy win. Teams have to work for it. As a matter of fact, the Rays will go into Yankee Stadium and they are unfazed because they'll walk in there and they'll take 2 of 3 from the Yankees. They'll go into Fenway Park. They'll take 2 or 3 from the Red Sox. They are a formidable team. The Diamondbacks keep talking about this economy baseball. The ownership group is this economy-minded group. It's the bottom line is the bottom line. And they're not going to spend a ton of money on guys. And they keep spending. And that's the other thing. Spend your money wisely. Spend your money wisely. There's no way we can go out and get a Soto, for example, on a 15-year, $500 million contract. That's just not going to work here in Arizona. But go find guys that you can pay instead of getting older pitchers or getting players that don't add up, or by taking a young player that's become a quote unquote fan favorite, but you're overpaying for him. You've got to make wise investments in the ball club. You've got to trade guys when it's time. David Peralta. I love David Peralta. The guy is a veteran presence. He's an everyday player. He carries his lunchbox. That means he's one of those workman type players that come to the ballpark ready to play ball. Okay, if you can get 9 or 10 or 11 of those guys on your team, now we're talking about a team that people will want to be excited about. They're going to go out and be scrappy. They're going to win ball games. They're going to look good. They're not just going to go out there and lose and be on a 70-win pace again this season. You see what I'm saying? You've got to learn how to be better managers of your money, managers of the ball program, the club itself, and you've got to be managers over your farm system and bring these guys up and develop them. 888-368-1580. Give me your thoughts on the Diamondbacks second half. Boogie says Kyler Murray. Okay, we're still talking Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has the talent to be paid that kind of money. He has the opportunity to develop as a leader. Guys on the team follow him. That's clear. He needs to step up. I would agree with that, Boogie. I mean, I think we've all said that.
Because I don't think anyone's rooting against Kyler. I'm not. I really want him to be successful, and I've liked him even since he was at Oklahoma. Like I'm a Texas fan. Watched Kyler play in Red River. Kyler was in the process of beating our ass, and I was just impressed with the guy. Like I couldn't even be mad. He was just that good. I've always wanted to see Kyler succeed just because I like the way he plays the game. But you've got to be a leader of men. That is part of your job.
Hefty Lefty wants to know what type of lunchbox that David Peralta has. Is it Thundercats, Speed Racer, Mighty Max? No, I think it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm pretty sure it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guy. You know what I mean? As you put that baby down in the lunch hall there, you flip it open. Remember those guys when you had a lunchbox and you had the little thermos in there and you put the milk in there, and it was never really quite right. You know what I mean? I had to move to like an orange drink because the milk got a little funny, as time went on.
Yeah.
Because you had the lunchbox in the room with you. It was never refrigerated. So even though it was quote unquote a thermos, it wasn't quite right.
It was starting to get a little warm at that.
A little cottage cheesy by the time you got it at lunchtime. You know what? Give me a dime and I'll go for the orange drink. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, I think he's more of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guy. Kyle G says, my guy instinct is that I'd rather have Ayton, but I think the Suns have a better team and depth, ability to draft well, and committed to bringing in what help they need. I can't say the same for Cardinals. Without Murray, your team falls apart. You can't retain talent, and you return to being compared to the Lions and Browns. Well, Kyle G, although that is, that has been the truth, that has been the narrative. I don't know, Keon. I think lately, Keim has done a good job of bringing in some free agent help for this Cardinals team. Well, let's remember, he got Rodney Hudson to sign on a free agency, which I think was a very big pickup for this team. Enormous. And then he got DeAndre Hopkins. He got that. Stole him.
Yeah, just fleeced the Texans on
J.J. Watt wanted to come over here because D-Hop and he were talking about it. So there must be something these guys are talking about a change is happening in Arizona. Maybe that changes they were willing to go out and get Kyler Murray, take a risk on him and pay him the big money. Who knows?
And it does, because Kyler's liked around the league. And I do think that it's good for your free agent prospects going out and getting other guys when you take care of your quarterback. That's the kind of thing that sticks out to people. Like, oh yeah, the Cardinals, I go there and I play well and I put up numbers. They're going to take care of me.
I'm laughing because Blissful Hayes says, did Steve Keim bring a case of Jack Daniels to Kyler's press conference today to celebrate the signing? What were the Vegas odds on the number of shots Keim was taking during the presser? And I'd like to say for just a moment, please, that Kyler Murray is walks tall among all of us here at the Cardinals facility.
I'm glad he doesn't have one of those Rob Manfred moments where he's actually in front of a microphone.
We have the opportunity to really do something special this season. I love you, Kyler. Time for us to take a break. We've got more texts. Yeah, we'll get to them. And we have so much more show to do. I'd love to know what you think about the Diamondbacks second half, what they need to do before the All-Star or before the trade deadline. That and Tennessee football is in trouble. We'll talk about that around the corner, as well as some other great college football stuff. It's Daily Blender on a Friday here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, I got a question for you. You hate bending over to put on your shoes? Wish you could just put them on standing or sitting without ever having to touch them? If so, then I have the shoe for you. Introducing new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins. With new Skechers Slip-ins, you just step in and off you go. You don't even need to lace up. So how does Skechers Slip-ins work? Well, there's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide right into place. So just step in them and go. Find new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hey, y'all, this is your girl, Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Does your company need bonds? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than any competitor anywhere. Our relationships with every major surety get you the credit you need fast, and we never stop working to exceed your expectations. Call me personally at 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution to better bonds.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Arizona Army National Guard, aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the six-pack? Bingo.
That's what we thought.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender on a Friday here on 1580-99.3 The Fanatic. Text line is a buzz here. Ukla Demog saying, I'm impressed the fourth dimension can write. Yes, they can write. Many people in the fourth dimension are very, very eloquent in their speech. Again, we'll be talking about the essay contest in the 5 o'clock hour, right at the top of the hour. We're going to announce the winner. We're going to show you some examples of some great essays from the fourth dimension. And there were a lot of good ones. But we have to pick one, and we have done that. Jeffrey, Keon, and myself conferred on who the winner of this $100 Kasai Japanese Steakhouse $100 gift certificate is going to be. So yes, many people wrote, and it was very impressive. Chief Skoll says, my prediction that the second half of the Diamondbacks will stink. LaVallo will get fired at the end of the year. The team will be gutted, and we'll have to start all over again. Well, that's a bright, cheery outlook, isn't it, Chief Skoll? I think that there's a lot of youngsters on this team that could surprise us, and I think if you get the right type of a pitching staff and play, we've got our pitching staff's not that bad. I mean, and we've got one of the elite pitching coaches in all of baseball. His first year, he was going to retire, and we talked him into coming here to Phoenix, to Arizona.
And you got a bunch of young pitchers in that farm system. I just think, get them, up here and get them working with him. Mentioned Dre Jameson earlier, but Blake Walston, he's a left-hander. Yeah. People like him. Ryan Nelson's another one. Tommy Henry is another person that's in that young potential pitching staff for the Diamondbacks. They can still get better too.
Boomer Sooner says, Randy, great drunk on a Friday. Thank you. I've had a lot of practice. River Rat says, here, Randy. The Diamondbacks are going to win tonight. Zach Gallen is on the hill for the Snakes, while our old friend Pat Corbin pitches for the Natties. He's 4-12 and could lose 20 games this season. Ouch.
Look, it's not even his fault. There's no run support. The Nats can't hit. It's Juan Soto and then a bunch of guys.
Big George says, here, Randy. It's not just the fact that the Diamondbacks are cheap, but when they do spend money, they spend it foolishly on the wrong players like Russ Ortiz. Oh, that hurt. Richie Sexton. Oh, that hurt. Yasmani Tomas. Ah! Zach Greinke. Oh! And Mad Bum. I can't believe the wasted money the Diamondbacks have spent, says Big George.
But I think that's proof that they are cheap, because every season it's one of those guys. It's somebody who's just like a little bit past their prime, but they were a big name once, and they throw a bunch of money at that guy. They don't fill out the rest of the roster with money. You could, for what you did to get that one big splash free agent signing, you could have gotten 2 or 3 quality players.
Tell me this. Is there anybody in the Diamondbacks organization that has the stones to go into Madison Bumgarner and say, look, man, We want your career to extend out. And you can throw, 4 or 5 really just dominant innings at this stage in your career. But around the 5th, 6th inning, things usually start coming unraveled a little bit. How about this? You become the next big closer in baseball and just come out in the 8th or 9th inning breathing fire out of the bullpen, walk in and just shut teams down. Who says, maybe for a while Madison Bumgarner's his ego is hurt, his pride is hurt. He's no longer the ace, the starter. But who's against an idea like that? You're paying this guy an immense amount of money, and you keep running him out there like he's the team ace. Why not try to put him in the bullpen as a shutdown closer? Why does this team always seem to avoid, ever since Torey Lovullo and Mike Behazen have been here, they refuse to name a closer?
I wish I could tell you why.
Damn. I'd be shaking. If it's late innings, it's a 3-2 ball game. Diamondbacks have a 1-run lead. We're going into the 9th inning, and we're up top of the 9th inning, and we're the visiting team. And they bring in Mad Bum, and he's out there, bouncing around and slinging it in there at 90, 95 miles an hour, hitting his spots just with nasty, filthy stuff. Because he's got a whole inning he could just come out there for a half inning and just let it all loose.
Don't even try to conserve anything. Don't leave anything in the tank, just throw heat. He could. It's a good idea.
And not only is it good for us, it's good for him. It extends his career.
But no, I was going to ask a dumb question, but Madison, I'm going to answer my dumb question. Madison Bumgarner would not be an ace on any other Major League Baseball team.
Oh, hell no. He's number 2, number 3, number 4 guy. If he's in
I don't even think
starting
he's a 2
rotation.
on most. Yeah.
But think of the brilliance. Think of the creativity of putting him in the pen. He could come out and give us six strong outs, man. Just shut a team flat down. 888-368-1580. Diamondbacks second half of the season. We'll look to see what happens. Here's my wish list. If I'm the Diamondbacks, I'm GM Mike Hazen. David Peralta, thank you very much. We have traded you to a contender, and we picked up some young prospects that we think are pretty damn good. But of course, the first thing I would do if I was a GM, I'd walk right into the scouts and fire all of them, and I'd hire some guys that have a reputation for going out and actually scouting and getting some good ball players in here. It's not hard. Drew Jones, it's not hard to go scout him. Anybody that's played Little League Baseball is going to see this guy is like a guy you want on your team. You got to go find these guys, in the Dominican Republic or Venezuela or, some of these outposts. These guys are playing in dirt lots and they're crushing the ball, and you bring them. It's the next big poppy. You got to find some guys that are willing to go bring in some of these guys and get them to work. I get frustrated sometimes.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Let's talk some college football. News out today that the Tennessee Volunteer football team is in trouble with no less than 18, maybe more, NCAA violations. According to Sports Illustrated, the NCAA sent Tennessee a notice of allegations on Friday that outlines these so-called violations that happened during their head coach Jeremy Pruitt's tenure. Pruitt was fired after the 2020 season, as Tennessee said that they had found evidence of NCAA violations. By firing Pruitt for cause, Tennessee said it wasn't contractually obligated to pay Pruitt's $13 million buyout. The allegations center around recruiting violations. And ASU fans, you better listen up here. including Pruitt's making cash payments to 2 recruits' mothers. And all the sum dollar value of the 18 allegations is $60,000. According to SI, the most serious of allegation, Pruitt's staff hosted at least 6 prospects and their families on 9 weekend unofficial visits during the year-long dead period. Does this sound familiar, ASU fans? Providing them with lodging, meals, transportation, household goods, even furniture that totaled $12,000. Pruitt himself is charged with having made cash payments of $3,000 and $6,000 to 2 prospects' mothers. The first used to assist in medical bills, the other for a down payment on a vehicle. Now, I'm not saying Herm Edwards has been doling out cash. You know, he hasn't undoled the wallet and brought out his Chase business card here and started swiping. But doesn't this sound kind of familiar with ASU? Hosting recruits during a dead period.
Yep.
What say ye, Keon Rose?
Well, I think that this is actually, very telling about what could end up happening to ASU. And it's weird because I think Tennessee is going to get off probably lighter than ASU will, because even though what Tennessee did is worse, because they also recruited during the dead period and brought people on campus when they should not have had anybody on campus. But Tennessee went the extra mile and paid people money. But I think they'll probably get off lighter because the moment that Jeremy Pruitt got caught, they went ahead and just detached from it. They were not, they were all in on Jeremy Pruitt until the moment he did that. And then they detached from him. They went ahead and fired him. Didn't waste any time. Hired Philip Fulmer to be their new athletic director, went on an entire coaching search and ended up hiring Josh Heupel, who I think is going to do a really good job for Tennessee. But Tennessee immediately investigated themselves, which is, we know how that is. You investigate yourself and hopefully you leave some of the worst stuff out of it. But by investigating themselves and then throwing themselves at the mercy of the NCAA, then they allowed themselves to be able to kind of get off a little bit lightly. The NCAA has been known to allow schools to punish themselves to a degree. If a school says, hey, we're not going to participate in postseasons, or we're going to reduce our scholarships. If the school makes that move first, then the NCAA usually doesn't come in behind and squash them. And I think that that's what Tennessee did right in this entire situation. The moment that they realized Jeremy Pruitt and company were screwing everything up, they went ahead and just threw him out. And I think that by sticking by Herm Edwards, it's possible that ASU could wind up being hit harder than Tennessee, even though what they did was not as bad, because the acknowledgement that you did something wrong is not there. So the NCAA is going to try and make an example out of you.
So you got to feel for some of these players on Tennessee, that signed on thinking that maybe this is a growing program, new head coach, new institution, new administration, new blood. Let's face it, Tennessee has been floundering for the last several seasons, trying to make ends meet and make things work for this program. And then this happens. This is where I don't mind players transferring in situations like this. If one guy wants to go because he's angry he's not playing at one school and he wants to go somewhere else, I say, you know what? You signed up for this, dude. Go out there and play better. You can't keep just moving around until it suits you. But if in a situation like this, when a program like this is in this much trouble, you got all these kids now that are going to be robbed out of potential eyeballs on their play, because they probably won't be going to bowl games, things like that. Have to wait and see. Tennessee Volunteers in trouble. We'll find out, I guess, what's going to happen to ASU. I hope Keon is wrong, but I have a feeling he's right. I think NCAA is going to drop the hammer on the Sun Devils. All right, around the corner, we'll announce the winner of the Kasai Japanese Steakhouse $100 gift certificate from the essay contest, and also more from college football. Mississippi State coach Mike Leach says that he should be the realignment czar. We'll talk about that around the corner on the Daily Blender on 1580 The Fanatic.
Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now.
And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Christmas in July is back at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale. For this month only, get a $20 bonus card for every $100 gift card you purchase. When it comes to Asian cuisine, no one does it better and more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create food, fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. It's not just dinner, it's dinnertainment. Enjoy a memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on teppanyaki, sushi, and signature cocktails. Now through July, get your $100 gift card and $20 bonus card. Visit KasaiScottsdale.com. That's KASAI Scottsdale.com or call 480-607-1114. Christmas in July is back at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale. If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PLAY for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PLAY for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PLAY for a $5 bonus.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
And welcome to a Friday edition, hour 3 of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic. That over there, that's the sexiest man in sports talk radio, Keon Rose, spinning the tables of steel. My name is Randy White, just trying to do my best to stay awake and entertain you until 6 o'clock tonight. Jeffrey O'Brien on vacation as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. You're texting in on the text line at 888-368-1580. A couple of comments from the last hour. Chief Skoll says our pitching staff is mediocre with the Diamondbacks. They cannot get and keep the good players they acquire. They're past their prime guys. Trade any good player to my Twins so they have a shot. All right. River Rat says, again, here, Randy. I'm not sure to what, but thank you. Boogie, Diamondbacks need to bring on Kyler Murray in center field. Second half of the Diamondback season will be much more exciting if we had more nets. Fed fan. D-back scouts don't want to travel to the Dominican Republic because they probably have to pay their own airfares. Fed fan also says that she really liked her Barbie, Brady Bunch, and Partridge Family lunch boxes. We were talking about David Peralta being one of those lunchbox carrying, workmen. for the Diamondbacks. And now the Fourth Dimension wants to talk about lunchboxes.
That is an interesting turn. You never know where the Fourth Dimension's going to go.
Well, and that's why they're the best part of this entire program.
Without question.
Hefty Lefty says, Yasmani Tomas kind of looked like a Ninja Turtle. That's true. Hefty Lefty also says, respect, I imagine he's a Donatello guy. Flies under the radar, but gets his stuff done. Yeah. Yeah. And he says they need to find the next Benny the Jet Rodriguez. Got to find those sandlots and scout. Just stay far enough away from so that you don't look like a pedo. Okay. Blissful Haze about the ASU thing. We just talked about Tennessee, the volunteer football program under fire from the NCAA. Recruiting violations, some of them very similar to what's been leaked out about the ASU recruiting scandal. Recruiting during dead zones. I'm not sure that ASU paid as much money, but ASU has done nothing to rectify the situation. Herm Edwards is still the head coach. There have been some coaches that have been jettisoned from the program. Some coaches have walked away from the program. Hall of Fame football coaches, walked away. So we'll have to wait and see, ASU fans, how that turns out for the Sun Devils. Deflated Balls, hey. Haven't heard from Deflated Balls for a while. Starsky and Hutch lunchbox. Oh, I think I had one of those. It had that badass Ford Torino, or was it a Torino? Starsky's. Hutch was always along for the ride. I think he probably didn't want to drive his car because his car was probably like an AMC Pacer. He looked like an AMC Pacer kind of guy. You know, that square kind of all glass looking wood pane, But Starsky's was this badass red and white Ford Torino. Everywhere it went, it burned the tires to the ground. Good cat. Hello. Hello.
Hey, good cat.
River Rat says, Randy, I was talking about comments on the Diamondbacks did well. Oh, okay. Thank you. Hello, good cat. Is it me you're looking for? All right. 888-368-1580. Right now, the time has come for us to talk about this Kasai Japanese Steakhouse $100 gift certificate giveaway. We've been saying all week that we want you to write essays, and we got quite a few in, and I was impressed. Do you have Fed fans there? Can you bring up Fed fans, Keon? Let's read a pick out a good excerpt from Fed fans essay. You got it?
Yeah, I have them all here. I'm trying to make sure I pull up the right one.
See, there were so many Keon's. There it is. Okay,
all
right. Give us a good excerpt out of Fed fans essay.
Let's see here. Let's see. The part. Let's go to the beginning here, where Fed fan puts the part one in the story with the background.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Describing all of the members of the Daily Blender.
All right. Here we go.
Jeffrey is a cranky colt who loves to torment his adversaries. Randy is a cardinal with the lethal poison of a diamondback, and Keon is a commander who hit his head so hard that he actually likes to watch the WNBA. And is only one of 3 people who enjoys that crap.
Keep in mind, Fed fans, girl.
And the Fourth Dimension, a village of people who come from all walks of life. They have the sole purpose of redefining sports talk radio. And of course, Fed fan, a charming, lovely human being who must tolerate the cranky cult, Jeffrey. She wants to have the cult put down, but her heart is so golden that she refutes that idea every time it appears in her brain. She forgives the cult because he makes her laugh. And now onto the story. So then there was a story afterwards, and
a whole story. She laid it out.
Very well told.
Very, very nice. Very nice, Fed fan. Very nice. Good job on that. Very, very nice. There we go. There's our crowd. Very nice, Fed fan. I was very happy about that when I read it. That was a very good story. Let's see. Do you have the one from the Jet? Get it. Can you get an excerpt from the Jet?
Yeah,
His story was
the
a
Jet,
lot of fun.
The Jet was a lot of fun. The
Oh, yeah.
Jet had chapters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like a grand total of 7 chapters in this.
Oh boy, yeah.
In this essay. So I think we'll just start with chapter 1. How it started. It was a warm summer afternoon in 2019 when I dropped my Tundra off to have the suspension upgraded and picked up my rental truck.
I'm sorry for your having a Tundra, but anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
This was the first time in years that I was cruising the valley streets without Sirius XM, so I was surfing the local stations for some sports to listen to. I ended up listening to the Blender and found myself very much entertained by the slapstick comedy, along with what I would soon find out was the fourth dimension and the crazy texts that were being read. I spent the next week listening to this and looking forward to the 3 o'clock time slot where I could hear Jeffrey, Randy, and he said Kyle. I don't think he could remember who was actually in here.
Keon or
talk about daily sports, barbecuing, and of course the texts that were pouring in on whatever topic was being discussed.
He probably was in when old Big Head Kaler was in here.
That's what. I think because after a week in the rental, I returned to my daily driver, and unfortunately back to XM radio. And then chapter 2 details how we got back from the XM radio to the daily. It's a whole saga. It's a whole saga. It's
it was amazing.
Fantastic.
It was amazing. Yeah. And he describes all of us pretty well, I think. Jiggy says, wasn't it Eric back then? Well, Eric was in there. And then there was Kaler. Remember Kaler, Quitter Kaler? He was in there. Phil was in there. And we finally got Keon. So yeah, it may have been Eric. I think it may have been because he said Kyle. Kaler sounds a bit like Kyle. So is there another one? What was one of your favorites?
One of my favorites was well, first off, I thought Big George had a really good one.
Yeah.
But I think it was Last Optimist had one that
that was the verbose, the poem, right?
Yeah, the rhymed the entire way through.
Oh, yeah.
It was
the limerick or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, long ago, came the rolling transports and our need for open road. Industrious engineers toiled for unspoiled, oiled thoroughfare. We grew numerous and our multitudinous transports slowed. The once enthralling voyages now monotonous, ponderous wayfare. With the dragging drudgery, what could our attention hold? And it is the vocabulary stays that big for 500 damn words. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was my personal favorite.
Was it yours?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that was The Last Optimist, right? Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. All right. So I guess it's come time. We had several that came in, and we all voted on them today. And let's see. Jiggy says Eric was my favorite. Keon is getting up there though. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Lost Toby says, can I get an extension on my essay? Ooh, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Yeah, that ended yesterday at 6 p.m. Hey, Randy, thinking in retrospect, didn't Nike steal the swoosh from Starsky's Gran Torino? I think you're right. Sorry, I got off task here. I'm sorry. So anyway, we all have selected. We selected earlier today, and we all have selected a winner. And so I want to announce the winner now. Keon, do you have the winner? The winner's SAL keyed up there. You have the winner. It's a simple yes or no question. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this week's $100 Kasai Japanese Steakhouse $100 gift certificate is
Big George.
Big George is the winner out of all the essays. Now, the reason, I'll give you my reason, because Big George, he started listening to the Daily Blender, and he wrote out a whole chronological essay about his journey as a listener to the Daily Blender. He goes way back with Jeffrey, 20 plus years. And no, don't start hitting me with this is rigged, because it's not rigged. We all three of us agreed that it was Big George because of the way he went about his essay. It was very well written. It was very, it was kind of cool. It was to hear his journey from high school all the way through law school at ASU and listening with his dad and the great memories that he's had over the years. So congratulations, Big George. You're the winner, the essay winner, and you get a $100 gift certificate to the Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. So, Big George, we will be in contact with you. We have your contact information, and I'm sure either Jeffrey or Keon or myself will be sending you the details on how to get your $100 gift certificate. So congratulations, Big George. Boy, that was fun, though. Wasn't it, Keon?
It was fun. And reading all the different essays and finding out what the fourth dimension thinks. And, some people rib Jeffrey. We caught a few. I think I just think it was really fun and going through it. And the reason why for me, Big George had an essay that I liked was because he kind of detailed his radio journey, and I could relate to it. I got into this because I would listen to sports talk radio with my dad growing up, and the way he wrote that, I was like, I can relate to that. I feel that, and I understand it a lot.
Randy's chuckle at 888-368-1580 says, Randy, that was an awesome Drunky Kind voice. Can you make that a staple voice? How about a weekend weather report in Drunky Kind? Well, maybe. I don't know what that says about me, but good cat. Randy, isn't it always you that we are looking for? Roar. Isn't it always you that we are? Roar. The Hefty Lefty says the last Optimist should have had a second nickname, Hemingway's Ghost. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, legitimately, I had to read it twice because I was looking at it and going, man, I haven't read some of these words since college. That
was crazy.
Massive vocabulary.
So yes, last Optimist, that was very good. It was very good. A for effort. A for verbosity. Ukla the Mock says, just because all three of you are scared of him doesn't mean it isn't rigged. No, it's not rigged. And I ain't scared of Big George. I have no reason to be. He's big and tall. It doesn't mean that I'm scared of him. Fed Fan says, congrats to Big George. Yeah, indeed. Blissful Hayes, that contest was rigged. Just kidding. Congratulations, Big George. Chief Skull, not even an honorable mention on my essay? Rigged. No. See, Chief Skull, were you the one that was...
Yes.
Am I at 500 wards yet? I guess not, so I'll keep filling for time.
You had something good going until you got to the point where you just started writing to fill space.
Last Optimist, thanks for the honorable mention, Keon. I'm happy that it entertained you. And it did. It entertained all of us. Boogie, I want to read all of the last Optimist. What?
Or you're saying you want to hear all of the last Optimist?
He wants us to read all of the last Optimist's essay? Keon and I will discuss this. Maybe we will do that for you. Big George, here's the acceptance speech. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I won the Kasai Japanese Steakhouse contest. I'm very honored and I appreciate it. Like I said in the essay, the show has meant a lot to me over the years, and I hope the Daily Blender never goes away. Yeah, there was a point in time in Big George's essay where the show did go away. He heard it on the NBC affiliate that was here in town for a while, and then it went away. And he found it by accident again and couldn't believe his ears. So he is truly a fan and really has followed this show for 20 plus years. He says, if you guys end up on shortwave or ham radio, I'll still be listening. Thank you, Keon, Randy, and Jeffrey. Yeah, you're very welcome, Big George. Very welcome. Maybe we can post. I don't know if we can post all of these. Maybe Boogie, maybe we can post the last Optimist on the website or something. I'll have to talk to Jeffrey about it. Chief Cole says it was supposed to be humorous. Even Mrs. Chief Cole, who eye rolls my humor like that, filler. Congratulations, Big George.
Yeah, well, our bad there for not getting the joke there, Chief Skull. But
Chief Skull, I like the filler too. I thought it was it was comedic relief, and I thought your essay was wonderful. It just
there was just a bunch of really good ones.
There was. You were up against. I'm not going to say what I was going to do. You were up against a very a difficult competition. But good job. You were definitely in the top 5. 888-368-1580 as we keep rolling along here. I tell you what, let's be early for a break for a change so I can catch my breath. When we come back, Mississippi State coach Mike Leach believes the SEC should leave the realignment of the SEC in his hands. The Pirate has a plan. We'll get to that next on the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update for Arizona's new home for sports, The Fanatic. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The Diamondbacks will resume the 2022 season at home starting tomorrow night against the Nationals. Arizona 40-52 heading into the second half of the season. 6 races left before the start of the NASCAR postseason, with the round of 16 starting at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina September 4th. Current Cup championship odds have Chase Elliott the plus 400 favorite, Kyle Larson at plus 650, Ross Chastain at plus 700, and Kyle Busch at plus 800. The 3M Open 2022 underway today. Tony Finau the plus 1500 favorite, Hideki Matsuyama at plus 1800, Adam Hadwin and Davis Riley each at plus 2000. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwiners.com. For vsin.com, I'm Trey Westerberg on Arizona's sports betting station.
There's no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for zero down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-216-9922. That's 1-800-216-9922. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-216-9922. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
For the latest in the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
So a friend told me about Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and his exact words were, "It changed my life."
I used to spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to remove tomato sauce from inside our microwave and soap scum off the bathtub.
It's like seriously magic, and my secret weapon for cleaning the kitchen, bathroom, doors, and walls, and even keeping my sneakers clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Greatest invention ever.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, the unicorn of cleaning.
A game of intimidation, a game of power, a game of strength, speed, and violence.
Plus, they have these little guys called kickers. We are your gridiron connection to the NFL. With the live games you want and the pigskin news, scores, and talk you need. We are 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Arizona's home for the NFL.
1580, 99.3 The Fanatic, the Daily Blender in effect for a Friday. Jeffrey O'Brien on vacation. That is Keon Rose, the sexiest man in sports talk radio, right over there. My name is Randy White, and you are the fourth dimension joining the show via our text line at 888-368-1580. You make the show go around, And so we'd love to hear from you. Hefty Lefty says, my essay is already on the website with pictures. That's because you hijacked our bios and sent that in as an essay, Hefty Lefty. A for cleverness, F for ability.
And
Fed fan, plagiarism. Yeah. Fed fan says, great. I lost the essay contest because I didn't listen to the program with my dad and I don't know big words. No, it's not true, Fed fan. That's not true, Fed fan. I had you second. I had Jet 3, Fed fan 2, and Big George 1. That's the way I voted. The last optimist was a definite top. I think he was 4. I think top 5 was Chief Skoll. That was my top 5 right there. So chin up, Fed fan. Don't go all Eeyore on me now. 888-368-1580. So you are our college football expert, Keon. Mike Leach at the SEC Media Day, the Pirate. He got up there on the SEC realignment and he says, they ought to let me handle that. Leach says, he says that there's about 500 configurations for how things will pan out, but a simple one would be keeping the East versus the West structure. He says, you knock those guys off and send them to the East, and we have to play Texas and OU. Tell me how I've lost on that deal. I have a lot of respect for those guys, but in this conference, they can just go ahead and get in line with everybody else. So in other words, he doesn't see himself playing Alabama.
Yeah, look, because they actually try their best. It's not perfect, but they try their best to keep the SEC geographically separated. But you added 2 teams to the West, which means in Mike Leach's math, well, get us the hell away from Bama. Get us the hell away from Auburn. We'd love to play Tennessee and Kentucky every year.
He doesn't feel like he wants to meet up with Alabama anytime soon. Of course, another preseason favorite to win the SEC.
Because it's not just Bama though. I mean, it's Bama, it's Auburn, it's LSU, and he's over there at Mississippi State. There's only so much you could do at Mississippi State when you're looking at all those other schools. Kick me over to where I can play South Carolina.
It's a little bulky, he said. If it's just a conference, everybody plays everybody quite a bit. 10 to 12 is what you're after, but I don't think it's realistic to play more than 16 games or too many more. So he's saying you can't see this conference growing that much bigger than it is right now, is basically what he's saying.
Yeah, and the commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey, actually agreed with that. He said that they're not in a rush to add more teams to the SEC right now. You know, the Big Ten can do whatever the hell they want. Greg Sankey's looking at the acquisitions that they made, likes the money that's going to come rolling into the SEC, likes that he's going to be able to recruit in the Texas, Oklahoma area. They're good.
Is the Saban Jimbo Fisher spat over with, or has it just gone quiet?
It's just gone quiet. They cannot continue to make headlines at that rate and focus on coaching football. So the two of them are making nice, but they don't like each other. Jimbo's never liked Nick. I don't think Nick ever cared that much about Jimbo.
Wasn't Jimbo a coach under Nick for a while?
For a little bit, but if you ask him whose coaching tree he comes from, he's going to tell you Bobby Bowden. He's not going to tell you Saban. He was on Saban's staff for a while, but he's not going to tell you he's a Saban guy. He's going to tell you he's a Bowden guy because he can't stand Nick.
It's going to be funny to see how this shakes out, but I think it was hilarious. The Pirate wants to be the SEC czar, and he wants to help with this alignment thing. He's just like, just get all these teams that are going to kill me, Alabama, LSU, the rest of those guys. Yeah, they can just go to the East. We'll be in the West. Tell me how I have a problem with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Next question. 888-368-1580. Chief Skoll said, yes, I made top 5 out of 4 Yahoo. What?
Because you said I thought you said you was.
He was in my top 5. That's what I said. He was number 5 out of top 5. First and 15. Fat little girlfriend speech was one of the funniest things of all time. Mike Leach is a legend. Yeah, he really is.
And he's got, because I've been to SEC media days, and it's a fun experience. But a lot of these coaches, Nick Saban being, the first among them, they're very serious, but, very about 100% about business. Then you go to the Mike Leach presser and he's cracking jokes and he's making everybody laugh. Yeah, he's fun.
He did a rundown of a mascot fight a few years ago. I was laughing for days about that.
Yeah.
He was talking about, well, then you got the Sun Devil and that pitchfork and what kind of magic does a Sun Devil have? Things like that. Mike Leach, the Pirate, strikes again. He's going to be the SEC czar. Not really, though. All right. So the Rams unveiled their Super Bowl championship ring. I don't want to talk too much about this. I don't know. Did you see it, Keon? Did you see the ring?
I'm actually looking it up right now. I totally forgot to.
It is a super flashy diamond encrusted ring. It got diamonds all the way around it. They've got gold inlay palm trees encrusted with diamonds. They've got rubies, or not rubies. They got the blue sapphires and the LA logo. If you turn it upside down, it's got like the stadium underneath it. Oh my God! They did a 45-second Twitter movie. You can go to the Rams Twitter account and you can see it. But it's amazing. I don't know how these guys are going to wear this. If I were
practical.
Yeah, if I'm the GM of the Rams, I'm saying not no, but hell no. Nobody wears this until the offseason. We don't need any injuries. But it's over the top. One of the wildest championship rings I've ever seen. The video is 43 seconds long. Pretty well done. I wish I could have seen more detail of the ring, but there's also on the Rams Twitter page, Aaron Donald has the ring. You know how big Aaron Donald is, right?
Yeah.
He's got it on his left index finger. The ring is about the size of his mouth. That's how big this thing is.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's
enormous. Oh my God. Somebody Jalen Ramsey has got it on his pinky finger. Why did you put it on your pinky finger, man? That's crazy. Oh boy. Now you got Von Miller. He's got two rings. This LA ring dwarfs the one next to it. That was the Broncos ring. So, it's amazing. I mean, if you're an LA Rams fan and you want to see just gaudy.
And you want to see a ring that costs more than your house and your car put together.
House, car, other car. Yeah. You go see the Rams ring. Total Hollywood in this championship ring. All right, 888-368-1580. Juan Soto, this is something near and dear to your heart. Juan Soto, we all are aware that he turned down nearly $500 million, 15-year, $400 million plus contract from the Washington Nationals. Now, just because he turned that down doesn't mean he's a free agent right now. And the Nats don't have to trade Juan Soto. But since he's already neglected your offer, he's already rejected your offer. What are the Nationals going to do now? And what kind of a trade will we be looking at? The Nationals, what do they hope to get in return? And where does Juan Soto most likely end up, in your opinion, Keon?
Well, the Nationals are in no way competitive. So what they would probably want, and what they've been good at dealing with, is prospects and draft picks. They're good at drafting, and they're good at developing young talent. I think that's what they would want. They would want more picks, and they would want to start over. They would want to just regrow a championship team out of young players, like they did the first time. Juan Soto's the guy that they scouted. That was not getting a ton of attention when they originally found him, and they were able to find him and get him and develop him into the talent that he is right now. So I think that's what they would want. The problem is they don't have a ton of leverage. Everybody knows that Juan Soto really doesn't want to be there right now. They really screwed up their negotiation when they leaked the number that he turned down, without giving the context as to why he turned it down. Because it could be money, but it could just be, hey, guys, we won a championship and you blew up the entire team. I don't think you're committed to long-term winning, and I don't think I'm going to sign anything until I find out you're committed to long-term winning. But because they leaked the numbers without the context, makes Juan Soto look like the villain. He doesn't like that. They also said he's untradeable. They told him to his face he's not tradable.
Oh my God.
And then, of course, they started taking phone calls for him the moment he turned down the contract. So a whole lot of bad blood is there. I don't think that Juan Soto's ever coming back. So I think you have to trade him so he doesn't leave for nothing. But you got no leverage.
Nationals apparently are not only asking for top prospects, but they're asking for major league talent as well. And by the way, we'd like you to take Patrick Corbin's contract off our hands as well. He's got $70 million left in his 6-year, $140 million deal. And by the way, Patrick Corbin's not pitching very well. So now you've got an overpriced, overpaid pitching guy to go along with Juan Soto, who you're going to have to pay a bunch of money to, although he still does have 2.5 years on his current contract. And that's before he becomes a free agent. Oh, and by the way, as the Washington Nationals, we don't want just any players. We want young players who are good that don't qualify for salary arbitration for some time. So we have a chance to build the team.
I mean, that's just what you're asking for is ridiculous. No one's going to give you that. No one should give you that. And unless they think adding Juan Soto makes them a championship team, no one should give the Nationals what they're looking for. Because that is insane. This is what we're talking about when we talk about the whole Kevin Durant thing, where it's like you could get Kevin Durant and it would be nice to have one of the best basketball players on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
What you'd have to give up for him, you'd have no team around him by the time you got him. That's what the Nationals are basically doing with Juan Soto. You'd have no prospect. You have no future by the time you got Juan Soto.
Scott Boras, his agent, says whoever receives Juan is going to get an immediate benefit of a player who's historically great and in his prime. Well, there's nobody really disagreeing with that. The Seattle Mariners are on the books as saying, we want to take a run at him. They could use a Juan Soto. They're in a 14-game winning streak, looking to really get hot in the second half of the season here and land a playoff spot and go deep into the playoffs. They're one of those teams that want to strike while the iron's hot. They could add a Juan Soto. What about the San Diego Padres? AJ Peller is probably just sitting in his office, just slobbering everywhere at the thought of adding him onto this Padres. I mean, he could be the single player that pushed the Padres over the Dodgers in the National League West. Just having Juan Soto on the team, and they start picking up more wins because of his bat and his abilities on this team. That could be that one single player that would get the Padres over the Dodgers right now.
And it would be the kind of move that the Dodgers would make. And if you want to beat the Dodgers to a certain degree, you kind of have to be like them.
Mm. The San Francisco Giants are interested. Their recent trade history goes like this. In the 2000 season, after Barry Bonds departed, they tried to trade for Giancarlo Stanton, but he vetoed it. They offered $310 million to Bryce Harper, who instead ended up in Philadelphia. They could wait for Aaron Judge, but they would have to compete with the Yankees. They could be a suitor for Juan Soto.
And it really does seem like their kind of move. And you wouldn't have to necessarily worry about paying Juan Soto until the contract was up. So you could just say, hey, we'll extend you, but hold on a second. And really just see if it works out.
Los Angeles Dodgers.
I sure hope not. The Dodgers have taken enough from me personally already. Okay. I've already taken my guy, Trey Turner. Every time I see Trey Turner in Dodger blue, I want to vomit.
Scherzer.
They took Scherzer. He's not there right now, but they originally took him. Again, made me want to vomit. It just that they harvested so much from that championship team.
Yeah.
Between the Dodgers and the Angels, I'm done with anybody going to LA for my teams. I'm done. Please don't do that to me.
A potential trade looks like this. May take a package starting with infielder Gavin Lux, pitching prospects Bobby Miller and Ryan Pepiot. 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 Is he French?
I don't know, actually.
My darling. When you got a chance to add Soto, knowing you can draft and develop players better than anyone, prospects shouldn't stand in their way. The Cardinals might be a team. that could go after Juan Soto?
Imagine that? I would have to change my World Series pick if they got Juan Soto. Because if you got Goldschmidt and Soto going off on the same team, that would just be insane.
Yeah, I mean, I would say right now, if I were a betting man, I would have to say Juan Soto will either end up on one of the New York teams, the Dodgers, or the Cardinals. Those are the four teams I could see making a run at Juan Soto.
The only team I would actually be happy with him going to is the Cardinals.
Really?
I don't want to see him I don't want to see him be a Yankee. I don't want to see him be a Met. I definitely don't want to see him be a Met. I cannot even imagine. I'd never be able to look Bruce Jacobs in the eye again. So that's one. No, I don't want to see another Dodger. I don't want to see another national turn Dodger. I can't do it. I don't have the intestinal fortitude for what that would do to me. I can't see that anymore. If he's a Cardinal, that's a first-class organization. Always respected them. I could live with that.
I don't know. I think I have a feeling about the Mets or the Cardinals. Cardinals seem to be able to work out one of these. And don't forget, they added, they added Paul Goldschmidt, and they added third baseman. I can't think of his name. Nolan Arenado.
Yeah,
and they've got the pitching to go all the way.
Yeah, no, that team would be absolutely filthy. Absolutely. The thing with the Mets too is they're in the same division with the Nationals. Historically, at least with Rizzo as the general manager over there, they don't care. They'll trade anybody to anybody.
They're talking in St. Louis that Paul Goldschmidt is approaching Ted Williams status with some of the numbers he's putting up.
Yeah,
do you hear that, Diamondbacks?
No, it's part of the stuff that stinks. I'm a dork, so I like to dig through some of the advanced statistics that are out there. If you look at number one in like every category, it's Paul Goldschmidt. Like the advanced numbers like him, your regular numbers like him. There's nothing the guy can't do.
888-368-1580 before the break. Fed fan who's been very active today. She wonders which Rams player will auction off the championship ring to pay their bills.
Whew. First.
Damn. I don't know about that. To pay their bills?
I guess you'd have to say which Rams player would go broke first. Because that would be the one.
Chief Skull says, have a great weekend, guys. Mrs. Chief Skull is treating me to my top 5 placement by getting me Dutch Bros. Excellent.
Well, congratulations.
Number one, Rattlers fans, stay right there. We want to talk to you. You guys are playing the Duke City Dukes. Is it the Duke City Dukes, Dion? Is that what it is?
I think it's the Duke City Gladiators.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Duke City Gladiators. Rattlers against the Gladiators. We'll talk about that right around the corner. That and also on this date in Big Georgia sports history. It's up next on the Daily Blender as we head for home here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-216-9922. That's 1-800-216-9922. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-216-9922. SelectQuote. We shop, You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Hey guys, it's Stephen McCollum from the main event here on 1580 The Fanatic. And if you haven't heard, the show is now noon to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Major League Baseball has begun its race for the playoffs, and the trade deadline is coming quickly. Diamondback updates and all around baseball. NFL training camps are beginning. Football is almost here. All the news you need to get ready for the season and more. So join me, Stephen McCollum, on the main event, Monday through Friday, noon to 2 p.m. here on 99.3 FM and 1580 The Fanatic.
For the latest in the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Anthony was working a dead-end job.
I was surviving, but I wasn't getting ahead anymore.
A friend told him about My Computer Career.
She's like, I'm already in the program. She's like, you'd be crazy if you don't do it. So I jumped right in and have not regretted it.
Anthony did it all online.
All you got to do is have an internet connection and you can do it.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
You need to check out My Computer Career. If it worked for me, it'll definitely work for you too.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. 1580 The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender. You're listening to the 1580 The Fanatic. I'm Keon, and we lost Randy during the break. We're trying to find him, trying to search it out and figure out exactly how to reconnect him here to this here radio station. And we've been going all over the place today. We've been talking about a lot of stuff, talking about the Diamondbacks, talking about Kyler Murray and his big new contract, his big shiny new contract, the Rams and their Super Bowl rings that are stupidly, oversized and insanely huge. That's what we've been going through today. And we got Randy back. And, I feel a little bit.
What were you saying about? Am I somehow stupidly oversized?
No,
insanely huge?
The Rams.
What were you saying about me in my absence?
I was talking about the Rams Super Bowl rings in your.
Well, the fourth dimension will tell me. They'll tell me. 888-368-1580. Juan Soto, the hot commodity right now in baseball as we approach the trade deadline. Would it be something? I would, and I venture to say this very cautiously. Wouldn't it be something if the Diamondbacks made some sort of a blockbuster move and got Juan Soto?
It would be hilarious. Yeah, no, I have no doubt it would be the funniest sports story of the entire summer. What would be more ridiculous than that?
I mean, I could see parts of buildings falling off from all the people like losing their minds. You did what?
I think my head would literally explode. Just for all of the players that this team has not signed and not paid to all of a sudden decide you're big spender, big money moves now.
I don't have how does this sound? I'm back in it. No, I can't do that. It's my water cup. I'm trying to do the Jeffrey O'Brien thing for on this date in Big George's sports history.
Yeah, you kind of need the right cup for it.
Yeah, you got to have the right cup for this.
That
Back
works.
in the day. We'll give it a shot. Anyway, it's time for on this date in Big George's sports history. On this date in Big George's sports history, 1997, Greg Maddux parcels out just 78 pitches as the Braves defeat the Chicago Cubs 4-1 in the opener of a doubleheader. It's the lowest pitch total for a 9-inning complete game since Bob Tewksbury threw 76 for the Cards against the Reds in August of 1990. Chicago takes the second game 5-4. Back to you guys. Now, I am going to go on a limb there and say that's not actually from Big George. I didn't get it until late, Big George. but I thought, since it was a Chicago Cubs theme, sort of, you would like it. Well, I mean, since the first hour, I mean, we were talking all about Kyler Murray, and we've talked about Los Angeles rings, championship rings. Mike, the Pirate Leach, being the SEC's. We've talked about a lot today, and I've got a lot of stuff left over. So we'll bring that on. We'll bring that on Monday. Some of the stuff that we wanted to talk about, but I want to get your thoughts here on. Do you leave things in your car, Keon?
Probably more than I should. Yeah.
Well, we were just talking about Juan Soto and the enormous contract that he just turned down, almost $500 million. Well, according to ESPN, Tampa Bay Rays Wander Franco had $650,000 in jewelry stolen from his vehicle.
Wow. The only thing I leave in my car is crap. Definitely no jewelry.
Does it add up to $65? Does that add up to $650?
I don't think it. I think 65 and no, I don't.
$6.50.
Maybe $65 total. Maybe.
I leave nothing of value in my car. Nothing.
I mean, neither. It's just some empty like suitcases. And
I've got
junk.
some empty water bottles in there, some receipts that mean nothing. And but Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco left $650,000 in jewelry, according to police reports. From the police blotter, Khalil Eugene Mathis, 24, used a wrench to break into Franco's Rolls-Royce Cullinan in Jacksonville, Florida. It was 3 a.m. on June 22nd. He grabbed a safe that contained 7 pieces of jewelry. According to an arrest report, Mathis sold some of the jewelry, and police identified him through an Arizona driver's license and thumbprint he gave at a pawn shop before arresting him July 4th, according to the report. Here's a list of the jewelry that was taken. See if anything is weird to you. A $300,000 gold diamond encrusted Cuban link chain and circle medallion with diamonds and a W in the center.
I suppose that's not that weird. His name is Wander.
A $200,000 rose gold Cuban link chain with diamonds.
Okay. Big fan of the Cuban link chains. I'm starting to notice that pattern.
A $70,000 gold pendant with a medallion in green and blue lettering spelling Franco 5. A $44,000 platinum Rolex watch with diamonds.
I mean, diamonds. That's you want to just keep that in your house, man?
A $20,000 American League Championship ring. A $20,000 championship ring from Durham. And a $5,000 gold pendant of Jerry the Mouse from Tom and Jerry cartoon. Is there something odd there?
I don't know. I don't know how odd it is.
You got a $44,000 Rolex and a $5,000 gold pendant of Jerry the Mouse from Tom and Jerry.
It's a great cartoon, I guess. Who hasn't seen Tom and Jerry? I mean, if I had $5,000 to just blow.
So Mathis, the alleged apparent burglar, sold 2 of the items at a pawn shop about 20 miles southwest of the hotel. Following Mathis' arrest, police found the safe in the bedroom of closet of an apartment about 6 miles from the hotel. Among the items inside were the 2 championship rings, 2 Cuban link chains, and the Rolex. The 2 Cuban link chains and the Rolex have not been recovered, the sheriff's office told ESPN. Jeez. But they recovered the Jerry the Mouse $5,000 gold pendant.
Oh, thank God. That's the one I was worried about.
Jerry is safe, everybody. Holy cow. Don't leave things in your car. 888. Go ahead.
Especially if you have a Rolls Royce, you're already attracting attention.
Fed fan still on her anger bout today. Fed fan, I just want to apologize I'm sorry we got you all fired up with the Kyler Murray. Poor Soto, he goes from one cheap team to another. You mean if he were to go to Arizona? Big George, thanks, Randy, for reading on this date in Big George's sports history. I didn't remember that one either, so thanks for finding that tidbit of history. He also says you made me laugh with your ridiculous notion that the Diamondbacks would acquire Juan Soto. Yeah. And then he goes on to rant about keeping Paul Goldschmidt. I'm not going to get into that. I may start crying, and it's Friday. There's no crying on Fridays. Blissful Hayes. That safe wasn't very safe. Awesome show. Have a great weekend, everybody. You have a great weekend, Blissful Hayes. I hope you remember. The Hefty Lefty says, not a big fan of that Rolls-Royce SUV, but it costs significantly more than my house. So $650K in jewelry sounds about right.
Good God.
He also says that Rams ring is so big it forced Stafford to join Instagram. Wow.
I mean, who else is going to show it off to?
Matt Stafford joined Instagram. Jeez. Oh, all right. 888-368-1580. You remember a few years ago, is it Laura Ingraham? Is that her name? The conservative talk show host?
Yeah.
She's the one that told LeBron James to stay out of politics, to just shut up and dribble.
That is her.
Well, LeBron James' company today, according to the USA Today, filed a trademark for the phrase "shut up and dribble." A company founded by LeBron James that bills itself as the athlete empowerment brand has filed to trademark the phrase "shut up and dribble." According to the United States Trademark and Patent Office in Washington, the phrase would be used on such items as downloadable virtual goods, namely computer programs featuring footwear, clothing, headwear, eyewear, bags, sports bags, backpacks, sports equipment, art, toys, and accessories for use online and in the online virtual worlds. Wow. Entertainment services such as video, social media posts, music, and games are also part of the filing. So basically, they want to trademark "shut up and dribble" and use that as a positive to turn it around for a company for LeBron James.
And of course, in addition to just LeBron James trying to turn that into a positive, he is absolutely up there as one of the most passive aggressive athletes that exist. So there's no doubt that he is aware of what this looks like. And I also just think LeBron, as good as he is at basketball, may not like him as a person. Dude's really good at business. I think he knows this is going to be a headline.
Well, yeah, congratulations, I think, LeBron. And it'll probably be enormously successful, and he'll probably make oodles and oodles of money. And I hope he takes some of that money and uses it to do good, and not just put it in his pocket.
And that is his MO, especially with the school system that he had to go through when he was living in Cleveland as a kid.
Yeah.
He's trying to boost that. That's where a lot of his money goes. So good for him.
All right. Well, it seems we've drawn this week to a close on sort of a ludicrous speed here. It's been great, everybody. Thanks for your text on the text line. Fed fan, have a good weekend, everyone. You too, Fed fan. Hefty Lefty says, I'll be at the candy store having some beers tonight if anyone cares. Oh, where? Hefty Lefty. You naughty boy. Thanks for all the texts today, Keon. It was great, man. I hope you have a great weekend.
You too, Randy.
We will see you all on Monday. Jeffrey O'Brien will be still on vacation, but he'll be back next week at some point. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 The Fanatic.
Christmas in July is back at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse